back again. Another week, another
Damn,
dose of poison.
The transition didn't work as well.
Oh,
That was odd. Anyway,
Anyway, it's all falling apart at the seams. It's all breaking down.
if you knew what happened back here just 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, if only you knew the backstage. Ooh. But anyway, yeah. So today we're going back to the basement. Back to basements again.
This was my
idea. Too soon. Yeah, too soon. Too soon, Ali. Going back to the basement.
I just saw that he did the same thing for, previous episode. We basically covered a thing of his previous episode, but this time there was this episode thing. And since the last time went pretty well in time-wise and talking-wise,
we got through it pretty quick, and I find it interesting how he's doing the hottest trash, and yet he hasn't. What season's not even fucking over yet? Like when did this come out? This came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
like mid season, right? Like
it's not a bad. In a sense,
it's not
the
worst time. Yeah, it's not the worst time, but it's still kind of like maybe some shows can get better, right? Maybe we can have some maybe they can do some comebacks, right?
Yeah.
You don't know. Cope. But anyhow, so we're going back to bullying the mother's basement.
Yeah, and we're going to do the same thing as last time, just the parts that are relevant.
Yeah, we're not gonna, because we're not watching like half the fucking shows that he's covering in this video, and I really don't want to have to listen to his dumb arguments about
shows we don't know.
Yeah, like I mentioned, it might have been during the last one actually. The gotcha guy, right? That it's really hard to defend something that you. Oh, good 650's in the chat. A50. How you doing? It's really hard to defend something when you're not actually engaged with it, and in that case, it was Nikkei, right? Like, because I don't play Nikkei, I can't.
Well, I played it.
No, you didn't. Shut up. But if I, you get what I'm saying, right? If you haven't actually engaged with it, then it's quite hard to defend something that you haven't actually experienced, right? Speaking of Nikkei, though, before we get back into it, that was they had some bunny girl outfits come out, and the girls may or may not have had vibrators on, so it was quite
good for them.
It's Nikkei and Azura Lane trying to one up each other, and just how close they get to the line. Also, hello, Gloria.
Hey, Def. I haven't seen you in chat before, unless it's in another name to count.
New blood. Yes. So anyhow, let's switch on. We'll switch on over to.
So Nretsew, you
have. Wait, this is early? No, Sammy. We're on time. You're one that's late.
We're a bit late, actually.
Well, I wonder whose fault that is. Ellie.
Yours, of course.
So yes, so as we mentioned, we're only going to be covering the sections that are of things that are relevant to what we watch.
Yeah,
right?
And Nretsew is in control of the video as always, but you have to tell me which part we're talking about.
He's a long time watcher, first time talking in the chat. Well, that's great. We always love viewer engagement. It's always good. Yes, Samu, I'm right here. Don't worry.
Oh damn, that's what I meant. I forgot the stream title.
There you go.
Here we go.
There you go.
What should I title the stream thing on here?
Back to the trashment, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Just slam the keyboard. Blah, 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 blah.
Here. Let's do the.
And no, Sammy, I just did your conditioning. Yeah, we've been conditioned. There you go.
There.
Back to the trashment. So yeah, let's. I guess we just might as well just get right into it. Let's see what Mother's trashment's got to say.
What series is this?
So this is Remonster, because the way it works is he's got Remonster for a bit, and then he has a couple of anime that we've not not giving a shit about, and then he does Konosuba and Prince. So we're just we're just doing the animes we care about or don't care
We actually
about.
watched.
Yeah, we actually watched. So anyhow, let's see what he has to say about the Remonster.
She breasted boobily prior to lighting them on fire. There's no easy way to stand out in the overcrowded modern fantasy anime landscape, but even if you don't have good animation or writing, a catchy hit theme song can take you a long way. And Remonster was clearly made by people who've heard that advice. I didn't say they under.
Yeah, the theme for Remonster is not good. It's not.
No.
It's not fun. It's not fun. I'm not a fan of the theme. Oh god! But anyhow, so he hasn't made a point yet. So
Understood it, and that's kind of a running theme with this particular piece of isekai crap.
Well, I mean, it is isekai, but he's not fully
Yeah.
wrong there. It is, but the thing with Remonster, it's kind of weird in that it's one of those isekai, I guess, where he gets isekai'd and then it just doesn't become relevant at all ever again, right? he gets isekai'd from his like future techno world, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just not, never comes up again. He just lives the rest of his life as the goblin.
No, there's
right?
no. Well, people complain of. I've heard people complain that most isekais don't incorporate the previous life at all, and they point stuff like towards ReZero. But ReZero is very relevant. The past life of ReZero of Superhero is very relevant.
I think it's. I think with Remonster's case, I think his ability, like his eating thing, right? That is from his past life. But other than that, it's like it doesn't really come up, right? Like it's not integral to like you could, if you removed the isekai element from Remonster, you just would not like. You wouldn't even know it's an isekai, basically.
He could
just not
be a
have
wizard in this world that had a weird ability and then get reincarnated as
a goblin. Or even just like he's just a goblin that gets born with this weird ability.
Well,
right?
the thing is, he has to be of a higher intelligence than the average goblin and a little bit more life experience and future planning abilities than goblins who don't know anything else than the caves.
Yeah. But I guess the main thing is, it's just it's weird when I hear people talk about it as an isekai because it usually just like gets mind voided that it's an isekai because it. But anyhow, let's continue.
Like on paper, our formerly human hero Gobro understands that consent is good and anime goblin mating practices are.
Skipped it a little bit for me.
Oh, did it? Okay, well, let's go. Just.
Oh, that's a lot.
Okay. Yep, there we go.
Landscape, but even if you don't have good animation or writing, a catchy hit theme song can take you a long way. And Remonster was clearly made by people who've heard that advice. I didn't say they understood it, and that's kind of a running theme with this particular piece of isekai crap. Like, on paper, our formerly human hero, Gobro, understands that consent is good and standard anime goblin mating practices are bad, so he outlaws those as soon as he takes over the tribe with his superior earth brain. But then, every single kidnapped woman he saves from getting goblin slayed just sort of Stockholm syndromes her way into his bed one episode later anyway, so he more or less just good cop, bad copped his way into doing the exact same thing. Then later...
So, I find that he's never gotten over Goblin Slayer, has he? he's never gotten over getting his shit absolutely ruined.
I think
back in the day.
I don't know. It's weird because on one hand, Goblin Slayer is a known quantity and a thing you can mention and everybody knows it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel, what other anime has the goblos being that explicitly, rapey, right? is
This one.
that explicit. Well, I mean, the thing with Free Monster, I mean, this is the other thing, is they cut a lot of that out, right? Like one of the things with our boy here was like, it's not necessarily like, oh, he outlawed it, right? It was more, we gotta make it less of a traumatic situation, right? Because I don't think he's going to bring it up, but I mean, we brought it up when we last talked about it and I brought the manga panels and stuff up, and right, and we went through the panels of the manga, right, where it's like when it comes with the elves at least, right, and also with the humans later on, right, the other humans that he picks up during the war, right, he is like literally date raping these people, right, he is giving them aphrodisiacs so that they can consent, because they become so fucking horny, right?
Yeah, I
that
do
they just
wonder,
allow.
because the anime really skips over anything, drugging or even forcing of the elves. All his objections would come from for having read the manga or light novels.
Well, we'll see if he
novels.
talks about that, right? Because if he's going just off the anime, right? The
There's
anime
not a lot. That's my point.
Is hyper tame in comparison. Now, I'd have to go back and see, like, because I don't quite remember if the first human group, right, with the red-haired girl, whether or not that is more accurately portrayed or not. I'd have to go back, right?
From what I remember, it kind of is.
I think it kind of was, yeah, because it was like, yeah, he just kind of does Stockholm syndrome his way into the bed with them in a sense, and he doesn't even do it deliberately either. Like, it just kind of happens. it just sort of happens. But I feel like the whole like hyper focus on consent, right? The hyper focus on, oh, he's so much better because he, unlike those other gobos, he cares about the consent, but then it doesn't matter because he still gets with the woman anyway, so it doesn't actually change, the issues with consent because it's Stockholm. Like, I just don't fucking.
There is
I don't know.
There's some.
Because if we were talking, because if we were talking about the manga, right, and we were talking about the elves thing, there is a discussion to be had about that, right, about the dubious consent and whether or not that's okay, right? I mean, obviously it's okay in
not
fiction,
really,
but I mean, obviously it's okay in fiction, but like, if we were having a discussion, I'm just saying you could have a discussion about that, right? You could very much, have that debate around that, but because that's not in the anime, you can't, can you? So what's he gonna?
Yeah, let him talk. Let's let him talk about the elves.
Let him cook. Yeah, we'll let him cook. We'll let him cook.
He's just straight up a bad cop with some prisoners of war. Very not cool, though. At least most of that stuff does happen off screen, which is definitely a tasteful directing choice.
Oh, it's okay when it happens off screen. Oh man, I'm having.
I think he was still going to object on the morals because.
Yeah, well, no, because I'm having fucking flashbacks to a long time ago, Ellie, when we covered a certain Mother's Basement video where he was like, "Oh man, it's so bad. It's so bad that Goblin Slayer showed the rip. It's so bad. Oh no." God, this is such a common thing too. It's actually really weird because we've had because remember, which one was it? It was one of the isekai ones we did where, I can't remember. Someone made the point that you shouldn't show certain things or whatever. I can't quite remember exactly what it was, but it was
quick addressing the chat. NS and MP. It's not it's the rule, but it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, yeah. But it's like, so the issue I have, right, is, okay, so we are not allowed to show anything graphic ever, right? We have to fade to black, can't show it for, dramatic effect, for impact, right? No, you have to has to be a fade to black, and that makes it somehow, I guess, morally better, right? somehow that's better.
There are, unless we have examples in front of us, it's going to be a very hard discussion.
Like, I think there are times and places, right? Like, I feel like you can argue that there are times where having the implication, right, is more powerful than, a lot of times with horror, that's a big thing because the human imagination is a lot more scary than, what could be shown on screen, right? So that's why a lot of horror movies like hide the monster, right? They don't show you the monster a lot of the time. So I feel like there's a time and a place, right?
Yeah.
However, I feel like the issue I have with Mother's Basement Stance is not just based on what he said in this video just now, but on, what he said in the original Goblin Slayer video, his, certain proclivities, right? For certain beliefs. I'm not going to do it, Ellie. Don't worry. I'm going to try not to do it. But because of that, I have a sneaking suspicion that this is more of a ideological, problematic media don't show that, it's corrupting it'll corrupt you if you actually see the thing, you can't actually show it, right? That's the feeling I get when he makes such a big deal out of it, it's weird to me.
But anyway, he's going to say it happens off screen, that's more tasteful, but I feel a qualifier coming up.
Yeah, well, let's see what he says.
And not just an excuse to cut even more corners on the incredibly Studio Dean core animation.
死なないギリギリのラインで一番きついお仕置きをしたホブ犬が生き絶えたのは朝になった頃だった。
Still, I do.
Yeah, well, it is. I think it is Studio Dean doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And it's like, yeah, the animation is the one thing that they couldn't fuck up, and they fucked it up. So I'll give him that, right, at least. But yeah, no. Anyway, let's continue.
I kind of wish I'd been able to watch more than 2 episodes of this thing before throwing it in the spring bargain bin, and not just because it gets so casually disgusting. Early on,
God, he's so offended. Casually disgusting. Like, what do you mean casual? What's casually disgusting about it?
A lack of morals in
morals. I guess, but that's like such a weird way to put it, though. Like, it's casually.
Doesn't really
disgusting.
explain anything.
No, it doesn't.
I'm pretty sure he's showing stuff from Beyond Episode 2, so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
We'll see what he's. Let's keep going.
On, I thought the series was just using the daily diary entry format as a way to gloss over the early development of its characters and get to the real action and world building, but then it just keeps doing it. So each
yeah, because the manga does it. That's
the light novel, but web novel.
Well, all of them do. The whole series is formatted as a. This is what happened this day, right?
Yeah.
That's. He's just proven that he hasn't read the. He's just proven that he hasn't read the source material.
Yeah, that's something. At least he doesn't know that the elves were fed aphrodisiacs to make them want.
God, can you fucking imagine? He'd blow a fucking gasket if he knew about that. He would fucking lose his shit. Oh God, but anyhow,
episode is just of random numbered title cards preceding equally random events, half of which are these out of nowhere, barely comprehensible fight scenes that constantly lean into video game logic over common sense, like, we gotta break the skeleton's bones, guys! Quick, throw away your 3-pound steel rods and punch him!
Yeah. What's the problem? What's wrong with that? I don't understand. Like, look, I'm not gonna sit here, right? I'm not gonna sit here and try and like hyper defend Remonster because we both agree it's quality, right? We both agree it's bad, right? But I don't think he's being fair, right?
No,
like, I don't think he's being fair.
The blunt weapons are good against zombies and or skeletons and or other such creatures. It's a tale as old as Dungeons and Dragons for the
I mean,
first
it's a
editions.
scout. I mean, have you tried to stab a skeleton? Have you
And
tried
there
to
is
stab
plenty
a
to be
skeleton?
said for that. A sword with a thin surface. Yeah, you know, if their thing is regeneration, you want to bash the thing instead of chop.
Well, you got to cause as much damage as possible.
Yeah, you don't want to flip one bone out of it. You have to smash the entire bone, and a sword won't smash the bone. It will in an animated skeleton. It will just hit the bone out of the structure of the skeleton, and then it
Yeah.
will be magically attracted back into a full skeleton form. So what you want to do is smash the bone so it doesn't have the opportunity to form itself into an entire fighting enemy.
Yeah, so so I don't think he's being fair here, right? I don't feel like, because I'll sit here and I'll criticize. Yeah, the animation's quite bad. They're skipping a lot of content. There's a lot of stuff that's being kind of glossed over that probably shouldn't be getting glossed over, right? There's a lot of issues with this adaptation, but I don't think. Oh, they're using video game logic tropes, and the girls want the Gobbo D, right? I don't think those are really issues with the production here, right? I don't really think that's a problem, but he's making those into part of the problem, I guess, because reasons.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's keep going.
And then the other half are just protag or a harem girl saying, hey, look, I turned into a different kind of monster or got a new skill or whatever. And then it's tomorrow or a week from now, which
Yeah, okay. I don't want to keep pausing, but it's like, for fuck's sake, mate. Like,
that's
the whole
thing.
point. That's the whole thing, right? Like, Monster's whole thing is he gets stronger, right? It's all everyone. Well, not just him, but everyone around him gets stronger, right? And the whole every day they get it. They evolved and they get new abilities, or they've become a new form, right? Or he's eaten some boss monster that he defeated and got some new OP Giga Chad power that lets him do more creative Giga Chad powerful things, right? Like that is the whole format of the show. It's what have I said before, Ellie? It's he's just critiquing it for what it is rather than how well it does it, right?
Yeah.
Which is part of the problem, because I would critique it based on how it executes the idea, not the idea itself, right? I don't think the idea of, okay, let's do like a day 1, day 2, right? Progress. He starts off as this weak goblin, and then he uses his intelligence to level up and get stronger, and then he becomes a hobgoblin, and I don't think that format is bad. I think you could do a lot with that format. It's interesting, right? It's how does, talking about the anime, not the manga here, right? Because it's different. How does the anime utilize that format, right? And how does it execute the ideas of that format, right? And it obviously fails, right?
Yeah, the anime very much does, and
yeah, the anime very much does. But I wouldn't criticize it for trying, or
no,
for
the structure kept me entertained enough for at least either reading until they start heading out with the children, or at least they grab a big lizard and then they go to a cold place and then they fight a yeti of some kind, and then I lost interest in.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like they're on there because it's like they're teaming up with like the princess or something, and
I believe the princess was later than that, but it's been a while.
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember either. I know right now he just like killed some fucking dragon or something in like a boss
the manga
room. Yeah, in the manga, he killed like this giant fucking dragon thing, and he almost died. Like, he actually almost died.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, it was kind of intense. He actually faced something that was like on the same level as him, and he was like like 40% of his body got fucked up.
Mm.
and the vampire girl is like he was like out he was apparently out for like a month. He was like, and he wakes up and he's like, what happened? And the vampire chick's like beating the shit out of him
Yeah.
because she's like, I thought you were going to die. And he's like, nah, I'd win. But no, so yeah, but there's interesting stuff to talk about, right, with Free Monster, like in terms of the
Yeah.
manga and the light novels and stuff. But you know, I feel like I hate it when critics like Mother's Basement and stuff they criticize things just for being what they are. Hey, Azure Zero, how you doing?
Hey.
Yeah, I hate it when they criticize things for being what they are, right? Because I feel like that's unfair. It's like, okay, I could criticize a sports anime because I don't like sports anime, right? Like, I don't care about sports anime, but just as a hypothetical, right? Like, I don't like sports anime, so I'm going to criticize the sports anime for being a sports anime, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? It doesn't really work, right?
Yeah, well,
But
let's
anyhow.
you know how much more of this there is.
Well, I don't actually, because I
Ooh.
can't see the timestamps on the watch together. I can only see them on the other version of the video I have in a different tab. So,
Yeah,
so we're just gonna keep going until he ends it, I guess.
yeah.
Suppose would have been a serviceable enough way to tell this story if the concept of following a monster man as he eats stuff and levels up and steals its skills was in any way novel. But even if Monster's web novel did technically come first, Reincarnated as a Slime beat it to the anime market by like over half a decade, and it does basically the same thing but with an actual plot structure. And also having a slime protagonist steal skills by eating guys makes way more sense than a goblin doing it just because he happened to be a psychic cannibal in his past life. So yeah, just watch that instead. Also, the title gimmick is getting really stupid really fast, and this joke probably won't make much sense when I'm reading it out loud, but fuck it, that's the level of effort this anime puts in. I give Monster one dumpster full of rotting monster parts and extremely imbalanced D&D character sheets, which is on fire, but off screen because we ran out of money. Lest you
Yeah.
Alright, well, you talk while I.
Well,
jump
so
to
I
the next
1.1 ARM protagonist wouldn't work as a D&D character. He has too many skills. D&D doesn't support it. Also, the skills of D&D aren't skills as in I have now the ability to turn to form an exoskeleton.
Retarded. Thanks, Jake. That's great. But anyway, yeah, keep going.
No, yeah. It wouldn't work because skills in Dungeons & Dragons are perception and nature and athletics. So it wouldn't work as a ability to detect enemies or sense life or all that stuff.
Yeah. So my general like end to that is I just think he was being unfair, right? That's
Unfair
that's
to
kinda
the
my...
structure of how the story is being told.
Well,
I don't think.
I just think. Well, yeah, because it's annoying because it's like, yeah, he's. Well, I also think he's being unfair because he has to fucking moan about consent, right? He has to fucking moan about that. And he has to moan about the fact that people mogged him over Goblin Slayer like fucking 10 years ago. But I just feel like there are valid criticisms of this adaptation, right? But he doesn't actually really, like, he does mock the animation a little bit, and he does kind of mock the of how quickly the story is progressing a little bit. But most of the criticisms he had were just kind of shallow, right? And that's kind of my problem with it, is there's not really much substance going on in that section, right? I just felt like it was very, oh, let's just haha, funny joke, haha, I consent's cool, guys, haha.
Well, the thing is that in the end, well, the he hasn't watched far enough, and the anime doesn't show it. But the human girls in the beginning do consent rather fast. But so he is more moral than the other goblins in that sense.
Yeah, but then he fucking
Yeah, then he does some other
Aphrodisia-
stuff.
He does some other stuff that's a bit questionable, yeah. And some of the other stuff, because he does a bunch of other stuff too that you could argue is morally questionable as well, right? There's some, the way he treats war criminals and killing them and all this other stuff. Like there is, and he does talk about that a little bit, but I feel like part of the problem, I guess, is the fast format of this thing, where it's like, oh, he just has to go through it like really quickly, right? He's not really, yeah. So anyway, let's talk about a show. So we talked about Monster. What's the next show he's going to talk about that
Oh,
we
I
care
don't.
about? Well, I do.
Move on to dessert already. Yes, it's finally time to tuck into the legendary trash that's finally back after so many seasons away. What? No, not the f***ing Harry Potter incest thing. Better, but still no. Obviously, I'm talking about Konosuba Season 3.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Good show, good stuff. Last episode, added some.
The anime kind of the anime kind of glosses over that. Or at least when I was watching it, they don't really like, because when you watch it, it's kind of like the elves are really like not cool with him for like one moment, and then the next moment it's like, oh, they're
cool
friendly now. Yeah, they don't really like explain it all that well, and they don't even like show it really either, from what I remember, right? From that episode,
They
I don't
really
know.
didn't.
Maybe I missed something. I don't know. But in the actual episode, it's just like the same conversation happens with like the older goblin, right? That was in the manga, but there's no implication that he's like drugging them at all, really, or like maybe it was like a throwaway subtitle or something.
No,
like that.
so even I remember this part because the conversation with the elder happens when our protagonist says, "No, you can't rape the elves." And
yeah,
then,
he's like, "No, you can't rape the
and
elves."
then the
yeah.
elder goes from, "Now, all right then, because you're so strong, I will follow you because you're so blessed by the dark gods and whatnot."
Chad,
Yeah. That conversation of the other goblin moved to when the other goblins staged their rebellion. So when
they leave, yeah.
So when they leave and he dealt with the rebellion, then the elder goes, "Oh, you're blessed by the dark gods. I'll follow you, etc., etc., etc." And after that, all the elf stuff comes. So, but the entire conversation with the elder is now more towards being leader of the goblins instead of, "No, grandpa, you can't rape."
You have to wait. Because I brought up the manga panels. Like the manga panels, he's like, "Listen, just wait a bit. just wait a bit. Give it some time, right?" And then it's like fast forward a few weeks. And it's like, okay, now they're like hyper fucking, sexual, right? So, but yeah, no, it's kind of, yeah, the adaptation really glosses over that really fast. It doesn't really.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is it doesn't like. It's very easy to miss that that's what's happening, right? But anyway, now we've got to talk about Konosuba. It's Konosuba time. So you're going to have more to say than I do, but let's see what unfunny jokes we're in for now.
The trashy isekai comedy about trash human beings and one trash goddess perpetually failing upwards in a world that's far too good for them. The new season picks up where the movie left off, with Kazuma trying to overcome the trauma of being molested by various monster ladies and dying. He got better by running off to a convent to become a monk. Though along the way, the party encounters a new kind of plant-based monster that preys on empathy.
Okay, pause real quick. He's doing the thing.
Oh yeah, he's doing that. Let me just explain the whole series.
He's going through the episodes, summarizing every scene as he goes along.
Yeah. Where's the point, my dude?
Yeah, where's the themes? Where's the change in narrative?
Yeah. Alright, let's keep going.
and trust. Sort of like Friren's demons, which really sucks for her, because Kazuma has very little of either.
殺すのウケるこれ完璧だ
You can tell he likes this one.
After digging up the presumably less paranoid
Yeah, his entire attitude is very different, right? Because with Furry Monster, he's like very bash. With this, it's like
odd
no,
scenes that
I'm gonna
don't really connect to what he's
yeah,
saying
oh,
most of the time.
I'm gonna explain what the entirety of an episode of Konosuba because I like it.
Yeah.
You know.
Isekai hero she met before them, the party also finds the infinite gold-generating treasure that guy reincarnated with. So Kazuma says screw the convent and heads back to town to spend some of that cash, but of course it immediately gets stolen, so they're back to their old hijinks. Though little do they realize that was actually the first step on a larger quest to recover a whole bunch of isekai cheat items that Aqua sort of lost track of because she really sucked at her old job. Also, before they can really get back to their typical adventuring shenanigans, they've got to get through regaling the crown princess with tales of those shenanigans without getting executed for a breach of courtly etiquette, which, knowing this crew, is going to be a greater challenge than any of the demon generals they've taken down so far.
ちょ話して今からとっておきの芸をはじめまして王女様我が名はメス
And if you don't know this
Alright.
crew, man,
Can you pause real quick? If I'm going to talk, if I'm going to talk about Konosuba, it will be about season 3. It's about that the scope is getting a little bit larger. More characters are introduced. The structure of the kingdom and its princess and the knights is getting involved. The nobles. We got an entire new power structure because before this, the first 2 episodes of these seasons were very much about Excel and what happens in Excel. Kazuma just sits in his mansion, does nothing. Now he was forcefully pulled out of that mansion and into the royal court. And now he's dealing stuff with the royal court and he wants to be involved with the royal court. So that scope increase is what I'm going to talk about, not summarizing every scene, scene by scene, episode by episode. That's boring.
Look, I don't have to watch Konosuba anymore, Ali, because Mother's Basement will just tell me what happens, and then I can copy his opinions about it and then talk about it online because I have no agency of my own.
No,
because
the
I'm a
third
fucking
season,
ironic weeb.
Thus far, the 3rd season is very much about nobility, the courts, and Konosuba has Kazuma has avoided any, societal power structure thus far because it's all in the same town, in the beginner's town.
And now he's dealing with society.
Now he's dealing with society. That's interesting and still very funny because Kazuma and the rest very much, don't do
it's
that.
It's still the same dumb goofball.
And it's interesting because this
stuff,
in talking a little bit more seriously, this is where darkness really is not the funny one anymore. She's the serious one.
Well, yeah, because she if I recall correctly, she is a quote unquote noble.
Yeah, she's like the number one noble family after the royal family. So her standing, her standing and status and bloodline and all the stuff is very important in this kingdom, in this world. So whenever the royals are involved, darkness becomes the serious one who says, no, don't do that, no, this is serious time, no, shut up right now. Before it was Kazuma's job to say, shut up, be normal. Now it's darkness on that. And that's interesting, a change of a switching up of the responsibilities and the dynamics and all that stuff. But again, not summarizing every damn episode. I hope I told you a more interesting story about the themes and the structure and of all that stuff of Konosuba.
Yeah, I got more information about what the season is about
without telling you
what's
what's happening.
Yeah, without telling me what actually happens, right? Because it's like, God, I hate doing that thing where I'm like, oh, remember when I talked about this? But do you remember when I was like, I can't remember which one it was, but we were talking about this and statement thing, right? Where it's like
God.
you don't want to be like, and this happens,
Oh,
and
yeah,
this
that.
happens, and like Mother's Basement is failing that test where he's basically just doing they go into the forest, they're going to go be monks, and then this happens, and then that happens, and then this happens, and
Yeah,
then
but
that happens.
even mentioning the entire monk bit is completely unnecessary. Just say that Kazuma gets more involved with one, indeed, more kind of more the meta of the world and more of the actual society of the world. Bigger scale instead of, like I said, just the hometown.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, let's keep going.
I cannot recommend highly enough that you correct that at your earliest convenience. Because Konosuba's last 2 seasons are some of the funniest, most charmingly animated
There are only
TV
2
out
seasons,
there,
dude.
and this new one more than lives up to that legacy.
Well, then why is it in this fucking video then?
Because it's about
This is the
trash
hottest-
people.
No. Oh, I hate irony. I hate irony so much, Elliot. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it so much. If you like it, why are you calling it trash? You fuckwit. If you like it, why are you calling it trash? Please stop. And yeah, like Sammy says, the glazing is real. He is fucking cooming so hard on Konosuba right now. He's like, oh yes, finally an isekai that's actually good. I'm gonna, so good. I get to talk about it. But it's trash, but it's so good. I'm like, fuck off. Fuck off. I fucking hate this shit, dude. I fucking hate it. Please
It's all
stop.
summarizing. And I hope I entertain Jake with talking about subtext and whatnot.
Yeah.
More than just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then just explain it. Yeah, but anyhow, let's get through this nonsense.
It's so rare to see anime continue after this long away, let alone do so without falling off at all. But Konosuba remains a prime example of what 5 golden dumpster tier trash looks like. Actually, screw that. This show deserves its own properly godly trash rating. Aqua out of 10. With that said,
I fucking hate it. I
Not-
fucking hate it.
It wasn't
I fucking
funny.
hate. If you listen, if you actually fucking like something, you wouldn't call it trash. All right? If you actually fucking like it, it's not trash. All right? I'm sorry. You don't get to play this fucking irony game because it's so fucking annoying. And I actually think it's disrespectful to the work itself, right? Like, because, Konosuba, from everything I've seen, I haven't watched it, right? But from everything I've seen, it seems fine. Seems good. Seems like a good show. It seems alright.
Yeah.
I wouldn't describe from what I've seen of Konosuba as being trash, right? Or trashy, right? I don't get why, and it's because it's not just Mother's Basement. There's so many people that do this stuff, right? And there's so many people that play this irony shield game thing where they just can't genuinely admit to liking something, right? They have to make it this song and dance, self-flagellation type stuff. And Mother's Basement promotes that stuff. And I kind of just I just hate it. I don't know if you've got anything to add to this, because I don't want to just keep fucking ranting.
No. I'm just happy that I've entertained Jake, and I hope hopefully more people in chat. Yeah. Season 1, very good. Season 2, just more of Season 1, if to say bluntly. The movie is all about Megumin. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of it. And the first season is ongoing, and is more about darkness.
Right. So anyway, now we're going to talk about something I actually like. So I'm going to get to be even more angry. I get to be even more angry because I fucking love Prince. So let's see what he has to say about that.
I hope you saved room for a second, even trashier dessert. Because no matter how useless and horrible the waifus of Konosuba might be, at least none of them are predators, just Kazuma.
Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute.
Oh, he's going to talk about the maid, I assume?
Is he gonna call the maid a predator? Is he actually gonna fucking do that? Oh boy, let's go.
俺が何みたいだって？
昔のお兄様みたいだと。
もう一度言ってください。お願いします。
お兄様みたいです。
もう一度。
お兄ちゃんみたい。
Wait, sorry, my mistake. I wrote this segue before watching season 3, episode 5.
You're confusing me.
I fucking hate him. I hate him so much. He's such a fuckwit. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it! Ah!
He's confusing me because I don't know.
What is he even talking? Yeah, what is he even talking about? What is he even talking about? Like, he hasn't even established what he means by like predatory behavior. Like, was Kazuma like getting all like happy about the sister thing? Or what? You remind me of my brother or whatever. Like, is that...
maybe wait. This night, maybe.
I don't fucking know. You're gonna have to help me here.
All right, this knight is very much adoring and protective over the princess.
Right.
In a somewhat similar way as the maid is about Lloyd.
Right. So is he trying to make a thing?
So he's going to say that Konosuba didn't have any predators, but now there's this knight.
There is predators.
Yeah.
Because apparently a servant being like into the person that they're serving and wanting to protect them and being like super into them is fucking predatory behavior now, apparently.
Well, it's a little bit. Just click
well,
play for a little bit.
Let's see what happens.
あれ？なんだかお姉さんのアイリスを見る目が。そっちか！真面目でお堅いやつだと思ったのに、そっちだったか！
Underestimated you, Konosuba. But
what's the problem with that, though? What actually is the problem with that? It's funny. I mean, it kind of in both cases, right? In both Prince's case and the Konosuba case, it's funny, right? It's like I'm hoping he actually, because I'm hoping he actually does talk about Prince at some point in the next like few minutes, because the video's almost over. Actually, the video's almost fucking over already.
Yeah,
like,
it's
not a lot.
only like 2. Isn't there a Ranger or whatever else in there?
Oh, did he talk about Ranger in this? I don't think he did. I'd have to skip through. I might have missed it because I did kind of like gloss over. No, I don't think he talks about Ranger.
I thought so. It would be my mistake if he didn't talk about more than 2 episodes.
Two things that we watched. Yeah. No, I don't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't talk about Ranger. I'm not seeing it because I'm skimming the other tab I have open. Yeah, no, I don't think he does. But anyway, back to this, right? Like, and yeah, I want to see if he actually talks about it in the case of Lloyd and the maid girl, because I kind of want to do that.
Claire the Castle Guard is only a minor attracted character, whereas
oh my god. Okay, let's keep going.
Silpha, the head maid in I Was Reincarnated as the 7th Prince So I Can Take My Time Perfecting My Magical Ability, gets the most screen time out of anyone in that show, besides...
She gets them... What? What do you mean she gets the most... I think he's a lying sack of shit. I think he's a lying piece of
indeed only watched 2 episodes, and there's...
He only watched like 2 episodes and was like, oh no, it's got creepy things I don't like. Oh, I'm so fucking triggered. Oh no, problematic medially. Oh, I can't handle it. Oh. What a fucking loser. Holy shit, dude. Because she doesn't get like that much. Like she has her moments, right?
Yeah.
She has her moments, right?
But Lloyd
but
Grimm is far
Lloyd
more...
is the focus. Yeah, Lloyd is the focus of the show.
And
right?
Grimm is far more screen time than Sylvia does.
Yeah, this is bullshit. What the fuck? Okay, all right. Calm down. Let's calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Let's see what he's gonna say.
Besides, of course, the very young titular protag-kun that she and all the other maids the king really should have screened better are constantly drooling over and fantasizing about. Don't worry too much.
Yeah, because they think he's cute. Like the whole joke, right? The whole fucking joke with the maid is that she's like into him, right? But I don't actually get the idea that it's like a sexual thing, right? Like it's she thinks he's cute, right? And she wants to protect him and be into him and love him, right? But I don't get like it isn't because there's so many parts where like I'm thinking back to the episode where like Lloyd goes into the tent, right? And she's undressing, right? And she's just like okay with it, right? But Lloyd is like, I don't care. Like I don't care. Lloyd is just like, get your boobs out of my face.
And look at the older brother here. When the moment he hears his little brother is in some kind of danger, he's gone. Fucking... is the rational and thought out.
And you can't. And this is later on in the series too. This is actually quite later on too. So we can't use the excuse of he just didn't watch more of it, right? Like he obviously fucking watched it.
Maybe it's an editor thing, I don't know.
Maybe, because this is, like, further in the series, right? So the whole, like... I don't know if you'd agree with me, right? Because I want to get your take on this, too. Do you agree with me that, like... I think it's presented to the audience in a sexual way because it's used to create fan service of the maid, right? Obviously, right?
I think that's fair.
But I don't think... But I don't think the actual relationship that they have, right? I honestly, the what's her name? The monk girl, right? That's that's not even a sexual attraction. That's not even a sexual attraction to Lloyd. That's a sexual attraction to the persona that Lloyd created.
Yeah.
Right? So that's not even that only like half counts, right? Like the only character that you would probably argue at this point that would have an actual romantic attraction to Lloyd is gonna be probably the assassin girl, right?
Yeah.
And she's like around his age. So what the fuck is he complaining about, right? Like, do you agree?
Yeah, but back to the question at hand. That was Sylvie's attire and dress and behaviors around Lloyd is very much for the audience and not for Lloyd.
Yeah, it's so that she can be put in fan service. Like the very first episode, they go to like the bathhouse, right? And they're in the bath. Lloyd is bathing with them in the bathhouse, and it's not even like none of them even treat it as like the boy he's in the bathhouse. It just feels like that's just a normal thing that they just bathe with Lloyd. Like it's just
because he's a child and you don't care about.
Because he's a child, yeah. Because he's a child, and because they all love him, and because they all see him.
And
as
he
family,
doesn't bathe
right?
on his own, so you just drag him in with you.
Yeah. Like it. I don't get this. Like just because the maid loves Lloyd is like, I don't see it as like. It doesn't always have to be a sexual thing. This is almost like he's telling on himself. He's self-reporting, right? Because he's looking at this relationship that's going on, and because it's fan servicey, he's immediately jumping to, she must want to suck his dick or something, right? Right? And that's the reason why. Like, I guess, like, you could argue the one scene in the one where she's like fantasizing about Lloyd in the when the animal trainer, right? The animal girl, right? Like and she's like having a fantasy about Lloyd or something, like you could argue that is her showing more attraction to Lloyd. That would probably be like the one case of that happening.
It feels very much still that Sylvia's very more interested in being his mother than anything else.
Yeah, being a caregiver, right? Being a caregiver rather than like, oh,
a
I
sweet
want
boy that says, "Hey, can you help me with
me? Yeah, can you help me, Sylvie?" You know, like yeah, and then of course, as shown here, it's like it's not limited to just her, right?
No.
Like the brother character is also like. God, I actually really love this scene. I actually really do love this scene, right? Because it was like, because you have the blacksmith guy, right? The blacksmith brother, who's like, okay, guys, let's not start a war, right? We can solve this with diplomacy. It's okay, right? Let's calm down, right? And then Prince is like, yes, you're right, brother. We need to.
war is bad. We need diplomacy.
Yeah, war is bad. We don't need any of that. And then and then Sylvie brings out the fucking trunk, the fucking underwear. And he's like, death. He's like, no, violent. We have chosen violence. Fucking, that's a great joke. I really love that joke. It's so fucking well, because it's well executed, right? It's well done. So anyway, let's get back to moralizing with the basement man, okay?
Yeah.
Because he's going to moralize to us about how horrible it is that the fan service is in the show.
Much though. Mentally speaking, Prince Lloyd's like 30, having previously died as a magic-obsessed commoner and gotten his wish to be reborn in a noble family with innate magical talent, so one could argue he's the real creep here, were he not actually a very gentlemanly little fella who...
It's fucking... It's fucking... Is he just fucking illiterate, Ellie? Does he just not understand?
I don't...
Like, Lloyd...
I don't know... It's hard to tell because this video is very.
It's not because it's not that Lloyd is gentlemanly, right? He just doesn't give a fuck about anything that's not magic related.
No,
he doesn't care. He doesn't want to perv on the girls because he doesn't give a fuck about perving on the girls. He just wants to do magic stuff. He just wants to get attacked by the magic stuff, right? And feel the pain from the magic stuff, right? Or whatever,
and
right?
see new spells from whatever.
Yeah, discover new ways of casting spells, new incantations, new types of magic, like the chi stuff, right, from the monk, and that's all he actually cares about. He doesn't give a shit about boobies and maid girl wants to.
I've been very explicit about what I think Lloyd's sexual preferences are, and I stand by those.
It's not like it's that fucking hidden, right? It's not like it's that subtle about it, you know? Like, the way that they animate it, right? Especially even in the first episode, right? When he gets his finger...
Yeah.
Like, he gets his finger sliced open and he's, like, licking it. He's, like, licking it and he's like... Ooh. And, like, even Grimm is like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? You know? Like, you have to be a real dense fucker to not get this stuff, right? To not pick up on this. It's because it's so in your face with what it is, right? But I guess Mother's Basement is just that fucking dense, right?
Yeah, let's let him play video.
I'm getting real triggered, Ellie. I'm getting so fucking mad.
Politely refused to even breastfeed. And anyway, he's way too horny for magic to even think about the ethics of this whole situation.
So he does get it, but he doesn't get it.
I'm afraid this might be our fault, maybe your fault more. That he's too gentlemanly to accept breast milk, breastfeeding.
But
that was the entire sentence.
Yeah, but it's like you fucking but like, what's he comparing this to? Fucking Rudy or whatever? Like, what the fuck do you want? Like, what the fuck do you want? Why does it always have to be a fucking competition, right? Why does it have to be, we have to pit these we're going to have the moral Olympics, right? Who wins the moral Olympics for being more of an upstanding moral citizen in the isekai world when they get reincarnated? Well, not even an isekai, because this isn't even a fucking isekai.
It's
So
still
like, what is he?
it's still a very narrow story.
Oh yeah, it is, but it's not. You know, you get what I mean, right? You get what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, oh god. Anyway,
which is the right set to be in if you want to enjoy this anime. Which I honestly think quite a lot of you will, despite how I chose to segue into it. Because once you look past that admittedly quite sticky sticking point, you're gonna see a whole...
It's not, though! It's only a sticking point if you're a moral fag, okay?
Or bad at reading.
Or you're bad at reading, yeah. You're bad at fucking understanding, like, character dynamics, I guess. Because you're fucking stuck in the basement so long that your brain's melted. Fucking Christ.
A lot of this.
国戦法だ。勉強になったか。何？
Especially once Lloyd makes Grimoire, the ancient demon sealed with...
That's first episode, my dude. Not as
Yeah,
soon as.
dude.
That's episode 1.
It's fucking Christ.
in his castle's forbidden magic library that you saw him fighting just there, his fluffy little bitch, and starts using his demonic powers to find even crazier magic system exploits, which he then tries out on even more deserving bad guys, treating ancient sociopathic liches and sex-pesty demons like they're ants, and he's got a magic magnifying glass. It's basically One Punch Man for guys who'd rather read lots of books than do lots of push-ups, and also guys who've always wanted to see a Chinese dress with built-in booty shorts, which
I guess.
Oh, look, I'm so moral. Oh, I'm so moral. Oh, I'm so moral.
is worn by a girl with a crush on a magically aged-up version of the prince, just by the by. So if you can't stop thinking about that thing I told you not to think about, there's your default best girl.
Again, it's like these fucking moral facts, dude. Like, I can't fucking believe. And what gets me is it's not even like normal moral fagging, right? Because you would
This is
expect something
advanced.
like I would expect something like this from a ridoid, you know, because ridoids are so fucking up their own ass, you know. The Gavin McGinnis stuff on Twitter is testament to that right now. I don't know if you know about that, but you know, we probably don't want to talk about that because it's such a fucking it's dumb fucking nonsense that people shouldn't. Be
I am not
surprised
aware
about.
of any
But-
drama currently, so
But well, basically, Gavin McGinnis said anime is pedo stuff.
I don't know who that is.
He's right wing commentator man, very
All right,
very
I still don't know-
lolcow type person.
I still don't know who that is, and I'll keep it that way.
But anyhow, it's this very puritanical like view of things, right? And you would expect that from a ridoid, but Mother's Basement's a progressive. He's fucking progressive. He's being puritanical but left, right? And it's so fucking weird. And then it gets even more like I don't want to delve too deep into the personal attacks here or anything, but bro, your wife sells pictures of her pussy on the internet. What the fuck are you like? What are you doing? How can you be this fucking puritanical?
I don't.
How?
I'm not. I don't see a real through line in Mother's Basement's morals. What he
Me
finds.
neither. It's
good.
weird. That's what I'm saying.
just
It's
kind of-
weird. It's like
Beyond, you know. All right, if he found God or not not this guy in
Mother's Basement converts to Christianity.
well, if that guy you said, whose names you said, apparently founded Vice and then found God, I can follow the moral line of a puritanical right-wing religious guy, right? Sex is bad. Men should only. Sex is for procreation. Only men can have sex. Really, women should just take it. Breasts are bad because it makes me
Corrupt
feel
you for
uncomfortable,
whatever,
etc., etc.
So yeah. There's
But
a
I
moral
don't
through-line to it.
don't see a real and you know there are lefty ways to be Puritan. But I can't really see what his version is. I don't see his.
That's
line.
that's why it's such a fucking problem, because there's no, like, why do this? Why be puritanical, right? There's no reason for it, right? I don't understand why you have to do this.
And it's hard to form. I like to see a line of reasoning, a clear line of reasoning. So I then go from, all right, I get what you want to do with this and where you're coming from.
I don't agree. I don't agree with you, and I think you're a dumbass. But at least I can understand your logic process, right?
If I can't know where this is coming from, I have a very hard time to say. Besides, I don't agree. I can't really refute anything because I don't even know where it's coming from.
It's very schizophrenic, right? Like, I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like with Mother's Basement, because Mother's Basement's always been the kind of guy that just kind of bases his opinions on popular consensus so that he can, milk as much fucking sponsorship money out of people as possible, right? I think that it's just, anti-fan service, puritanical, whatever stuff is popular right now. There's obviously an audience for that kind of content, and so he's just going to play into that. Oh, age gap's bad, maid servant thing bad, right? Oh, immoral. Oh, she's wearing a non-sexualized outfit because she has booty shorts on her Chinese dress. That's
yeah,
cool.
but is it worse than a normal Chinese dress, which apparently just have panty shots all the time?
I don't fucking know. And it's not like she doesn't have fan service. Like, she gets fucking naked and the fight with the dogs. Like, she gets fan service too. She gets the living shit kicked out of her, and her dress gets ripped up and stuff. So it's not like she doesn't get the fan service, right? So I don't. Yeah,
none as much as Lloyd's though.
No, not as much as Lloyd. But anyhow,
those hips don't lie.
We're almost done. We're almost done. Look, see, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, ooh, glowing rocks. Glowing rocks. Ooh, cool. Ooh, glowing rocks. This is what I mean. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't actually care about any of the, like, antics of the woman around him trying to like, get with him or whatever, for whatever reason. He's just like, yeah.
I mean, the moment there is sex magic, he'll go off. Like...
God, that would be the funniest episode. Can you imagine? Fucking, hey, I found some magic that makes my dick super big.
Mana manipulation through sex. That's the moment.
Yeah, mana manipulation through lust. Yeah, lust magic or something.
The fate stuff. Mana transfer.
Yeah, mana transfer. Yeah. Hey Lloyd, have you heard? Can you imagine? I can imagine.
Have you heard of mana transfer?
Hey Lloyd, yeah, you heard of mana transfer? You want to try it out, Lloyd? God.
No, you know what? Default feels really reductive. Tao is a genuinely great character. All of these characters are a ton of fun, especially Grimm, that fuzzy little tsundere, and even the ones you'd probably catch doing a ukulele apology video in a different universe. Plus, the magic system would be genuinely interesting, even if Lloyd wasn't taking it to hilarious extremes, and the extremes the show goes to are frequently straight up hilarious. I overlooked this anime on this season's ones to watch precisely because all the
Oh yeah, there it was. Remember that? Let's go. So yeah.
Ones to watch precisely because all the.
Right. Yeah. See, look.
Oh, she wants to be a mother to Lloyd in that.
Yeah,
scene.
And that's like the only. Yeah, I was kind of misremembering it a little bit because I thought it was a bit more sexual than it was, right? Because it's literally just Lloyd is like hugging her, and she's like, and she's like,
boy.
Oh man. Oh, I'm so and the other maid is kind of like,
Why is she so into just a hug?
yeah, maybe that maid's the one that wants the D, you know, I don't know. But like, this is what I mean, right? It's like, it's not even presented as like hypersexual, right? It's not like she's imagining him eating her out or anything, right? Or
I do believe
breastfeeding
that
or something. It's literally,
I do believe that she is getting some sort of satisfaction out of it.
well, yeah, obviously, but I don't think it's like, you know, I just don't see the problem, right? I just don't see the fucking problem. I don't think it's a big deal, dude, right? Like, oh no, the maid is into Lloyd. It's like, who cares? Who fucking cares?
Also, I maybe because we are following Lloyd, he says he likes the magic system. I don't have much of a feeling for the magic system as much. I very much
yeah, like we kind of get like, okay, there's like enchanting, you have to do enchants, and you could do dual enchanting and you know,
yeah,
quad
but you know, if I just I very much talking about the anime right in general right now. The blighted, you know, those who have inherent magical effects on them is a very interesting thing in this world. But the magic system as a whole, it's not very much explained because Lloyd is just god tier at everything he does. So he just god tier everything. You know, if you know, it's kind of like sitting in the class of a immediate going from learning your math signs, your minuses and pluses and equal signs, to go straight into theoretical algebra. Yeah, I recognize there's a plus over there, but what's all those letters and numbers and symbols around them? It's probably very cool what you can do with those things you have on the chalkboard there, Mister. But I don't know what you're doing. Right. That's kind of the feeling I have with the magic system as thus far.
Yeah. All right, we're almost done. Let's finish it up.
Everything turned me away from it, and I just didn't see much more here than a shameless power fantasy. But having watched a lot more of it, it absolutely is that, but it's the joyous, free kind of shameless that I built this restaurant to celebrate. I give it 5 magic school dumpsters full of weirdly tight overall shorts and grimoires crackling with arcane fire. And that's all the trash we've got.
And that's the end of the video, basically. So, yeah, that was fucking painful. I fucking hate him. I hate him. I actually hate him. He's such a fuckwit. I fucking hate him.
Out of all of them, Konosuba hurt me the most because it was the most vapid of them all.
Like, my thing is, I don't just hate him on a personal level. I hate him for everything he represents, right? Everything he represents in, like, the quote-unquote anime community and anime discourse online. That's why I'm so fucking triggered, right? Because people watch these videos and then they go out and they just parrot these fucking dumbass opinions, right? Constantly to no end, right? And it drives me up the fucking wall that Mother's Basement is classed as like a fucking representative of, you know, what anime fans are or whatever.
I suppose
I fucking hate it.
The only up and downside in this is that Mother's Basement isn't as big as Trash Taste, but also Trash Taste doesn't do anime.
1.35 million subs in this video, got 365k views in 2 weeks. So I don't know. I just hate it. I just hate that this irony shit is the only fucking like way that you're allowed to be into anime. You can't just genuinely enjoy something like Prince without having to do the whole, oh, look at me, I'm so moral. I understand that it's wrong if a maid likes a child, the child that she's serving. Oh, I'm so better than everyone else because I'm moral. Oh, I love consent so much. Consent is so cool. Oh, I love it. It's like, oh god, fuck off.
I thought he was Kadokawa sponsored or backed. Maybe
I don't know.
He's at least Crunchyroll back.
He's Crunchyroll backed. Yeah, he's definitely
Maybe not
Crunchyroll
Bookwalker
backed.
anymore because that's a while back, or was it somebody else?
I don't know. Oh yeah, he might be. Yeah, I don't know. But
That's
it's
years
like
ago.
I just, and then it's this weird puritanical stuff too, right? Like we talked about. It's this weird, this is bad, but this isn't bad, but this is bad, but this isn't bad. My morals, how could they have non-dubious consent in my anime? Oh, I'm so moral, Ellie. Oh, I'm so moral. But yeah, no, I don't really have much else to say.
Yeah,
about it, really.
it's really just it's stun.
It's like you said, it's vapid. It's like you said, it's vapid.
Well,
right?
Konosuba was especially vapid because it was just summarizing every episode and every scene of every episode.
Yeah. But I would argue like basically all of it's vapid. Right?
Yeah, but I'm just stun-locked by the lack of direction in his moral compass, in his moral through line, that I can't say or do much with it. If you just twist and turn and go back and forwards and ups and downs on a whim, I can't make a statement on it.
Fan service is good, except when it's not good. It's bad. It's immoral in this case because of this, but it's okay in this case.
And I can't find a through line, and the save horny doesn't give me enough guidance in that. So I'm just stun-locked. I can't do anything with it.
Well, I can do something with it.
Yeah, you can say you disagree, but
no, I can say he's a fuckwit. There you go.
Yeah, I guess that's an option.
That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna do. But anyway, I guess we should stop talking about how much we hate Mother's Basement. We could talk about anime in an unironic way, right? We can talk about anime. We could be the We could be the lead by example. Or we could be the change we want to see, right?
Unless Jake, we made a YouTube YouTube channel for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And the only thing
fun.
I've been wanting to make an actual episode on something, but it's just work that I can't bring myself, and it takes too long.
Yeah, we need the time. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of videos in the backlog right now. There's actually been quite a few.
Oh no, it's Nretsew. I'm talking about something else.
Oh, you're talking about something else?
Yeah, so an actual video with me doing a voiceover
Oh, yeah, like a proper video.
Yeah,
I've considered doing it too. But it's a matter of, we need time to do.
The thing is, right, it takes time to plan out, and by the time you want to start, you write something of a script, and by the time you want to record the script, you're not satisfied anymore with what you've written. So then you start writing again, and then
doing the live stream's a lot easier because we can kind of do shit on the fly.
And also, just to finish the thought, that and even when you have said the stuff, that you don't like your tone or your sentences are too long or too short, so then you have to go back and forth. And
well, the good news is that we've got quite a lot of different things in the backlog right now that we can.
We can talk.
It's just there's a few of them that are quite long, and so it's going to take us a bit of time to decide what ones would be the best ones to kind of go back to and look at.
I'm sorry for that.
Because there's definitely there's that one guy that Anthony guy that I really want to fucking dig into. Actually, I wonder because he put out a video. Yeah, he put out one that you would probably quite like, which was YouTube critics are lying to you, a bad media criticism video, he say, but it's an hour long.
Ooh,
but he's criticizing all of those gosh damn alt-right media critics that don't like my slop. They don't like the slop alley that I like. So they're evil and immoral because they're right-wingers, right? No.
Nretsew, I can't lie. You're saying it's an hour or whatever long is far more of a ego than anything else.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's like people just make like God, okay. Before we talk about anime, look, I want to quickly talk about the Windiegoon drama. Did you hear about this? The Windiegoon thing.
No.
So okay. So if you don't know who Windiegoon is, right? He's a guy that does these kind of like horror conspiracy very video coverage type things. Where he does these really long like essays about oh the CIA is hiding cheese in caves to manipulate currency. Right, manipulate fucking the economy
sorry.
and stuff. Right? Oh yeah. Jake knows what I'm talking about. Jake knows what I'm talking about.
There.
But he does that, or he'll do like covering like different urban myths and legends, and we'll go to the just talking stream or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, you switching back to video coverage.
No, I pressed the wrong. I pressed.
You pressed the wrong button. Press the switch and you press the wrong one. Oh no. But so basically, so the TLDR in Windiegoon, right, he is by all means, right, a pretty normal dude, right? He is a Christian, but he's an American, right? He is Christian, he is religious, but he's not like an asshole about it, right? He's just kind of like a normal guy, right? He's like, I have my beliefs, people are entitled to have their own beliefs. I don't want to get political. I don't want to be a negative Nancy or whatever. I'm just, I want to talk about things that are cool that I like, and that's like internet horror and stuff, right? Because you'll cover like different analog horror stories and stuff and try to theorize and do things about them and explain them and talk about them and stuff, right? And so there's this other guy, I can't remember his name because he's that forgettable, but it was some guy who's also a horror YouTuber, but he's a leftist, right? And this is important. It is actually important for the context here, right? And he's a leftist guy, right? And his channel is not doing too good, apparently. He's having some trouble, Ellie. He's having some trouble. So he made a 3-hour video, right? About conservative horror, basically, right? So like conservative horror. And yeah, Praise of Shadows was his name, yeah. So he puts out this video about conservative horror, right? And it's like a 3-hour video. And you would think that the video would be about, right, okay, so here's like conservative horror movies from conservatives and why they work and why they don't work. And, what kind of horror would a conservative come up with? That kind of thing. You'd think that would be what it would be about. And supposedly there is some of that in there, but he dedicates a large section of the video to just shit on a bunch of YouTubers he doesn't like, right? And one of them happens to be Windiegoon, right? And he has this whole like 40-minute section of the video, right, just dedicated to, oh, Windiegoon is evil. He was part of the Boogaloo Boys. He is like offensive because he uses the name Windiegoon, and that's like a Native American thing, and that's bad because it's cultural appropriation. And he's a Christian and he's a conservative, and he hangs out with gun tubers, and guns are bad and evil.
Yeah. So what happened after?
And all of this stuff, and he just like goes into Windiegoon, right? And it turns out the only reason he's doing this is because Windiegoon, like it was some Twitter beef where he was like criticizing Windiegoon, and then later on Windiegoon followed him on Twitter, and all of Windiegoon's followers apparently called him a faggot or something. And he got really mad about that, apparently, because apparently being called a name on the internet is like the worst thing that could happen to you, I guess. So he goes on this massive like attack, and he also lies about a bunch of YouTubers. Like there was this one other YouTuber he talked about where he like just flat out spread false like allegations against them that were perpetuated by someone else. It's a big drama thing. You don't have to worry about that. Like, it doesn't matter for the context of the Windiegoon stuff specifically, right? But essentially what ends up happening is he puts out this video and everyone starts shitting on him because Windiegoon is too fucking pure for this world, right? Because Windiegoon's response was he commented on the video and he said, hey, look, don't harass this guy. I don't condone harassment. I don't want anyone harassing anyone. I've never condoned harassment. I get that you got a problem with me and you don't like me, and that's fine, right? I don't, that's okay. Here's some things that you got wrong about me and some other people in the video, and that's that's all I kind of want to say about it. I don't want anyone harassing you or whatever. And he's just being a nice guy about it,
Yeah.
And this Praise of Shadows guy is such a condescending prick about it, because he's like, oh, Windiegoon didn't actually apologize for anything, and he didn't actually, he's on Twitter and he's like going off, and he gets so much flack. And the ending of the story as of right now is the guy, first thing he did was edit the Windiegoon part out of the video,
Yeah.
but then he just deletes the video. And then he just like leaves the internet for now. He's like left the internet, and it's like, man, that backfired real hard, didn't it? Right? I think Jake is probably going to fill in some of the gaps of the story, because
Yeah,
I'm kind of because I want to talk about anime, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of skipping over a lot of this, right? Because I watched Darkwing Dork. He watched the Windiegoon segment of the video on live stream, and I kind of agree with Darkwing Dork's assessment of it, is that it feels very much like a I have to take down Windiegoon because he is an evil, right-wing, conservative Christian man, and he can't be on the top. I should be on the top. I have the right morals because I'm a progressive, and progressives are the right side of history, Ali. So how can a man who is evil, moral, he believes in God and Jesus, right? Like, that's what the video feels like, right?
All right.
And
So
it was this.
how do you say that? IPOS.
What?
Oh,
Say
Jake
what
said that IPOS.
Oh, that's the abbreviation of I in praise of shadows. That was.
Oh,
his
in
name.
praise of shadow
IPOS.
is the name. All right. If I ever come across Windiegoon or in praise of shadow, I'll remember that this drama has.
Big beef happened, and the
something
thing
happened.
about In Praise of Shadows, right? The thing about In Praise of Shadows is he got a bunch of criticism because he like talks about progressive shit in his reviews of horror movies a lot. I think that he had a Hills Have Eyes video where he tried to say that the indigenous people, it was a movie about indigenous people fighting back against the evil white man or whatever. But he had a video, some of his early content. I actually watched some of his earlier content. He had a really interesting video about an artist that was actually really fucking good. Like, it was actually a really good, well-constructed video where he talks about the history of this artist, why he kind of, like, his inspirations, how he got into architecture, and how that, like, influenced the way that he created these really amazing horror pieces, right? And it was a very, very good video. And so it's interesting to, like, look at him now and be like, man, what progressivism does to a motherfucker, right? Like, because Windiegoon, in comparison, right? Yeah, Windiegoon is a Christian, and he's probably a bit more conservative leaning, and he has conservative friends, and he likes guns, right? And all that kind of stuff. But it never really, like, outside of, like, some libertarian type stuff, it never really, like, bleeds into the content, right? He never, like, goes on tirades about how, those progressives are evil and bad.
He's not
they just wanna
a
take all your guns away.
Shadowversity kind of guy, then.
No, he's not. He's not like that at all. He's very much like, no, he keeps all that stuff out of the content, right? And he, like, because I watch his live streams a lot, because I like Windiegoon's live streams because he's so fucking wholesome. Like, he doesn't even like getting super chats. He doesn't like getting super chats because he'll like sit there and try and read all of them because he doesn't want to, like, miss any of them. And then he'll have to be like, guys, stop giving me money. I don't need your money. Please stop. Right? And he's like, he will, like, talk about religious stuff because he finds it interesting and he likes talking about it, right? And he's like, oh man, this reminds me of, like, this Bible verse or whatever. And, or, like, one of the more recent streams I watched, he, like, watched a video which was like a simplified history of the Bible or whatever, or simplified Christian history and stuff, and he was like, oh yeah, he gets that right, he kind of glossed over that, he gets over that, and it's clear that he's, like, just genuinely passionate about it, right? And it doesn't come off as, like, preaching, right? Like, oh, you should become Christian, you have to, oh, I'm morally superior. It's more like, no, I'm just going to talk about what I find, interesting,
Alright.
But yeah, that was the big drama. That was the
about-
big drama. Yeah, the big drama of the week. Oh man, I just kind of I don't actually remember what sparked that. I just kind of went off.
Apparently a Twitter thread of him, but
Yeah, it was some big drama, and I think Windiegoon handled it quite well. Like I think he made his comment on the video, and then I don't think he's said
Then
anything
left.
since. I don't think. So it was
anyway.
Let's talk about anime.
Let's. I had the idea that I'm still going to go through that we continue talking about Seventh Prince, but because we ended there, but we didn't end there at all.
Yeah, no, because then I got distracted by Windiegoon talk. Yeah. But anyway, shall we talk about Seven Prince? Yeah, let's talk about Seven Prince was good. It was good. It was a good episode. Ali.
Misdirection. Lloyd still in a slutty outfit.
yeah. Lots of misdirection. Oh, are they going to? Are they going to die? Are they not going to die? Oh, Lloyd gets stabbed, but he didn't really get stabbed. Or does he? Oh, he's actually fighting someone that's like on his level, right? It's more difficult. He's having trouble, right?
Or
he
is
actually
it really
has to think for once. Or is it really? You know, like, and yeah. So overall, this was a very good episode. You had the drama on the bridge with the assassins, right? And they're like, no, we're going to have to self-sacrifice so that you can escape. Go, I will kill myself to kill all the demons, right? And you hold them down with your web stuff. And the girl's like, no, we'll all go together. No, I already lost Jake. I can't lose you. And then the cavalry arrives. And Lloyd is like, hey, can we move this somewhere else? I don't want them to see me doing cool stuff. Because Lloyd doesn't want to like have them see him doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So he's like, can we go somewhere else? Can we go? Can we please?
I am kind of happy that Lloyd is in a sort of threat. You know, his super duper barriers aren't that success
as
effective.
It feels kind of good that they've like given him a challenge, right? It doesn't feel like it's just him one punch man, as Mother's Basement put it, like just one punch manning his way through all of the encounters, right?
Yeah, what was the rank again of him?
It's like above first rank. It's like 10 ranks or something, and Grim is like a rank 3, and this guy is like a rank SSS or whatever. Like he's above 1. He's like above number 1. He's like a demon lord, hyper fucking powerful. Magic doesn't really work on him because he's so fucking,
he's made out of
powerful.
magic or something.
Yeah.
Not really.
But it's interesting, right? It is interesting how it's showing that Lloyd is not actually like the most powerful thing in the room this time around, right? There is actually something that's on par.
He needs to plan for a change.
It's very, very interesting. It is very interesting. But other than that, this episode was good. There was good tension. There was good, are they going to actually have to sacrifice themselves? Is it going to be a case of that, right? All of the little assassin characters got to kind of use their skills a little bit, to kind of
even if it's just crawling away.
Yeah. So, but we're going to see next episode, the cavalry has arrived. They're going to probably deal with the minor demons, and then Lloyd is going to find some way to win. We'll find out.
Yeah.
How it kind of plays out. But it's good. It's a good episode. It was really good. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I wonder. I kind of missed a real fan service moment. But maybe its absence is more of a sign of how serious it is.
Maybe. It's like it knows when to be. It knows when to be.
Because Jade is still dead, and he might not come back. He might be dead for real.
Yeah. Or maybe he will come back. We'll see.
Yeah.
We will find out. We will find out.
Next
Yes.
time.
Next time. All right. So what do we got next? What's next on the block?
Let's do girls band cry.
Girls all over Twitter cry band snake instinct. Snake.
That's the next episode.
Yeah, because people have been posting all manner of gifs about girl. I was talking about this with you before the stream because you fucked up because you fucked up. That people have been talking about girls band cry kind of like we used to talk about anime because it's not been licensed, right? So
not for
to
Crunchyroll, like I
not
said,
for Crunchyroll,
like I said
right?
before
Not for
stream.
Crunchyroll.
This is on Hulu or Disney Plus or something that nobody
Plus
has.
or whatever, yeah. So people are kind of like having to wait for subs to come out in a sense, like they have to wait for it to come out. And so, people are talking about it the same way that they were talking about older shows, right? And I saw a tweet about this, and I kind of thought the same way. And it's interesting because Girls Band Cry is kind of developing a bit of a cult following. It's starting to get a little bit because it's all over my feed. New episode comes out, and I'll get unintelligible goblin noises. The fucking unintelligible goblin noises and stuff, right? Hitting the feed, right? And so it's kind of like I think it's starting to gain a bit of this little cult following. So anyway, how about you give us the rundown? What happened in the Girls'
So I'll
Band
summarize
Cry this week?
every scene as it happened in this episode.
Yeah, every scene as it happened. We'll be here for 20 minutes talking about Girls' Band Cry.
No, the gist is that. Oh yeah, because. No, sorry, I'm doing fancy stuff also.
He's distracted.
I'm distracted.
Yes.
No, full screen. This one. Oh. Yeah, I'm trying to activate my. Wrong one. Trying to activate my. Come on. There.
He's trying to do fancy stuff.
Yeah, but because I haven't activated over here. Fancy stuff. Fancy stuff.
Big fancy time. Big fancy time. Oh boy.
Ah, damn. My drawing on the screen doesn't work. Sorry.
Oh no.
I wanted to show that because
he's trying, boys. He's trying.
Yeah, I'm trying, but it doesn't seem to work that well right now. Alright, one last refresh as I let the people here wait.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Meanwhile, I'm just on Twitter.
Alright, then this, yeah.
Waiting.
So,
okay.
alright.
Okay.
I fixed it a little bit. So,
okay.
Where we left off was that Nina stole the thunder of Momoka because Momoka wants to quit the band, and although she doesn't intend to announce it at the end of her concert, Nina announced that she'll quit school and go pro with music at the concert, stealing her at least Momoka's emotional thunder. Right? Momoka made a decision, and this would be her last performance. But before her last performance could end, she's still in it because she can't quit.
She's kind of fucked, yeah.
Yeah. So Nina made her problems. The problem being, hey, why won't you stay? Everybody's problems. And there's a big fight. So. In the far back is Momoka and Nina is here. And they are fighting each other. And this poor dude is just looking
He's just
left,
just
right.
like, what? He's like, what?
Wait,
What happened? Why are they yelling at him?
Where's this extra? Oh, because I know why. Oh wait, damn. Sorry, I have to recalibrate because where I draw isn't where I see stuff. So yeah, Momoka is here and Nina is here and they are fighting each other, and this dude over here is looking left and right. Now people's stream can see. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are fighting in public in a I'd call a mall cafe. Everybody can hear, everybody sees, and it's kind of embarrassing for the rest, but these two don't care and they just keep on fighting. Well, but it's not all Nina's fault, Nretsew.
Oh no.
Because Momoka kind of lives in her own fantasy, running away from her own problems, that she'll never be as good as Diamond Dust, the group she left. And so she's content to live in the memories and feelings of others that liked her music. So she's just hanging around in the memories of a pure ideal, not in real life. So while Momoka Momoka is now kind of when Momoka hears that there's a singer on Twitter or something that liked Nina's voice, so Nina has potential to be a singer for real. The two new members are going pro already, or were already offered, big contracts for the music industry, so they are already for real. Subaru is in it for real for the lead, for kinda. She's tagging along for as far as she can go. So it's only really her that's not serious. The professional is the only one that's not serious about it. So after a little bit of talk and a little bit of conversation, Momoka brings Nina along for a concert of Diamond Dust and says, hey, you're my hope for the future, kind of, in a sense.
Right.
But then Nina says, fuck your future.
fuck
your idea of the future.
And gremlin noises just die.
So Nina smacks Momoka in the face, declares war on Diamond Dust as the group that exists right now, and Momoka is still in. Also, Nina was in school. There was some incident, and she was forced to apologize, even though she really doesn't want to. But you in school, a fight happens.
School things happen in school. Yes. So you
apologize. So everything is good because you both apologize. But Nina is not okay with apologizing like that at all. It kind of feels like she was bullied, and she either just hit back once or caused some scene happened once, and now the adults see it, and now, all right, you two make up. But Nina is not okay with making up because a scene happened with her and the bully. So, and her refuge was the music that Diamond Dust and Momoka sung. But also because her bully is now in Diamond Dust, she's very, conflicted about, want the music from Diamond Dust, and also, fuck you, Diamond Dust, I'm going to be better than you. But the episode ends with the presumed bully, who is now in the band, Diamond Dust, now saying she doesn't recognize Nina.
Oh, okay.
It feels like a lie, but also like I don't care about you.
Yeah. How dare you not care about me, you bitch?
Well, the bully is very much, oh, that girl, I don't care about you. I'll just say I don't know her. Well, Nina cares very much about her being in Diamond Dust and seeing her at all. So, well, I could talk about the next episode because I did see it. I'm not going to because it messes up the schedule and the images and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. We'll talk about it next week. Normal stuff.
Anyway, that was Girls Band Cry. Any preference for the next
Alright.
one?
Not particularly. You bring up an anime.
Loser Ranger.
Yeah, interesting episode.
You start.
We've got yeah. So we got introduced to to our, I'm assuming, going to be our big bad of the next little arc with the Carrot Man. Carrot Man, as I'm calling him.
Tree Man.
Kind of just shows up.
Tree.
Yeah, because it turns out that Miss X down there, right, is sends a signal to Carrot Man through the pipes, and Carrot Man's like, "I have come to cleanse and help you, and I am big
to bring
boss
you
man.
salvation.
I'll bring you salvation," and then he says, as he just fucking murked a guy, just murked the tech support man. Just fucking
When the tech support doesn't even he wasn't
not even
going to
hostile.
fight. Yeah, it was non-hostile.
Yeah, he's like, "Get out of here, girl. I don't want to fight. I'm just tech support. I just fix the computers, okay?" And then he just gets fucking murked.
Yeah.
Like his insides turned into mist on the wall.
It's also kind of to continue on XX and what's his name? Lord something. I forgot the name.
Lord Carrot Top, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Tree Man.
Lord Carrot Man.
I was like Polyop or Goliop something.
Polyop or something. Yeah.
Anyway, to continue on their side of the story, I find it interesting that XX is kind of still very much afraid of him.
Yeah, there's this weird thing where it's like, yeah, he's the big boss man, or one of the few boss creatures remaining, right? But she is very, very scared, very much bow down. Oh Lord, oh thank you Lord, oh.
Well, there was one scene before with boss creatures, and there the boss creature was saying to the fighters, "We're going to take back what was ours and live in peace." And they weren't cowering before him when he said that, but she's cowering before him. So
maybe all the boss monsters are not made equal.
Yeah.
maybe there's something else going on here that we're not quite
yeah,
quite,
but
quite
he's still very much from hey D, I hope you don't meet him. And why not exactly? It's kind of odd. Odd things are going on.
So you have that side of it, but then you also have the other side of it, where we
the other side where it isn't a friendly cooperation. It's actually just, why didn't you kill each other from the start?
Yeah. You must win. You must betray team to get key.
Yeah.
Right? And that's led to the strong have been separated from the weak, right? The strong have allied
heroes
themselves
from the villains.
Yes. And so now they're gonna have to team up. And part of that, which is very interesting, is the Afro Man. He now supposedly knows that D is a monster.
Yeah.
Because of what you see in the bottom corner. Because the guy's basically given up. He's like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not gonna be able to do anything. My best friend has betrayed me. The guy that I was following around, he's betrayed me. Oh no. And D's like, bitch, get the fuck up! I need,
Oh,
bitch,
so-
get,
Oh, so
get
you,
up!
So you're a loser, and you don't think
Yeah.
I know how it is to be a
How
loser.
that feels? Yeah, you don't know
Hmm.
how.
Well,
Yeah, fucking get up! Get
Who
the
do you
fuck
see
up.
get defeated every week for the last 13 years?
13 years, yeah. So I wonder how that's going to develop, because that's going to be an interesting kind of dynamic, I think, where he knows, but I don't think all the rest of them know, right? So
No, I have
That's gonna be
heard
interesting.
that there is an entire conversation skipped in that
oh
in the
no,
in the reveal.
oh no, oh no.
So it likely comes up next episode when the Afro guy
Maybe.
is going to think about how he was convinced. A small flashback scene, and
maybe. And then we also got the backstory to a fucking rival character man. Oh, my
Yeah.
brother got killed by Carrot Top. And then Carrot Top, I didn't see the Rangers kill Carrot Top, so Carrot Top must still be alive. I have to kill Carrot Top. And obviously Fire D is like, wait a minute, a boss creature is still fucking alive? What? Wait,
yeah.
what the fuck's going on here? So yeah, so Rescue Ranger is like it's like onions. It has layers, right? There is layers going on here with different characters that all kind of have their own little. Like, all the characters have their own little motivations. They all have their own little things. You've got two kind of parallel sort of side stories going on right here with Carrot Top and X. And supposedly we're going to have the Blue Ranger girl sees that Carrot Top is here, so she's probably going to sound the alarm, right?
Or
And that's
get
going to probably
killed.
lead, or get killed, one or the other. And then of course, the you have the guy that's just weak and I would describe him as cuck man, because the woman thing. He's like super
Yeah,
weak.
it's kind of.
The woman. Oh, the strong woman bullied you. Oh, and then the woman just comes and takes the key from. It just walks up and takes the key out of his hand.
I find it interesting that I liked him having this problem to begin with. That he's putting a strong front that, oh, if I'm Red Ranger, all the ladies like me. But it's actually a front because he's scared.
Because the woman's scary. woman treat me. Oh no.
Well, he's not scared of women in general. He has a trigger, and that's more of an interesting character.
He's a sub bottom to his finger.
Also, just like Blue Afro guy, he was happy with following around, and he would do so for the rest of his life. But now he's being betrayed, so now he's going to he's going through some arc right now.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on, and I think all of them are probably gonna have their own little. It feels like they're all gonna get their own little.
Yeah,
fucking
but the one character who didn't show up this episode was Pink Muscle Guy.
Yeah.
So next episode he might do something.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But definitely an interest. I think it's still got my interest. Still got the interest. I'm definitely keen to keep up with Ranger, because there's some fun stuff going on.
Yeah, I do hope they'll leave this basement rather quickly.
I'm hoping what's going to happen is it'll be like, oh, we have to get the keys, but then Carrot Top's going to show up and basically throw a wrench into all the plans, and they're all going to have to fucking team up anyway.
Yeah, but presumably because this test is happening every day, the end of this day there will be full alarm that all these people died in this facility. So the test, I would assume the test would be cancelled or something, but maybe they're all in a different location right now. They are in this weird parking garage.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. What happens. But anyway.
All right, next anime. You pick, Nretsew.
What do we
No,
give me some Blue Archive. Let's talk about the archives. Why not?
Blue Archive.
So this was just as predicted last week. We have let's all go to the aquarium and have a fun slice of life filler episode. Ellie, what hints could possibly be given during the fun times, right?
Not a shady guy with lightning static.
Well, that happens at the end. Well, two things happen here, right? So they have the slice of life part at the beginning of the first half, which is basically, they go to the aquarium, and there is some subtle hints that happen during the character interactions. The first one is that we learn that Hoshino is smart, right? Because there's a scene where the two characters are talking, they're looking at a fish, and the fish is like gobbling, like, going gobble, 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 right? And they're like, wow, I wonder how the fish breathe. And Hoshino goes into this like little speech about how, oh, the fish have gills and they suck water in and filter it just like we have lungs, and they do the da-da-da. And then all the other characters are like, wow, Hoshino, you're actually quite intelligent. And she's like, ha 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 ha, I'm just dumb, I'm Oji-san, all right? She's doing the thing, and Shirako's sitting there like, and then what happens with the funny faces at the bottom there is they get into an argument about whether or not the tropical fish would be tasty or not, and then they ask Sensei to break up the argument, and Sensei's like, I don't know, and they make these funny faces, and it's good, it's very good. So you have a few other little like segments like that, like they see the dolphins and Hoshino's having a good time, and then Shirako and who's the fox girl, right, and Hoshino are alone looking at the whales, right, because they all had a conversation about, oh, what fish would you be like, right? What fish are you, right? And some of them were like, oh, Hoshino's a dolphin or something, right? And then Shirako is alone with Hoshino and is like, I think you're a whale, right? And Hoshino's like, what do you mean I'm a whale? And Shirako gives a really interesting answer in that because you're big and you're strong and you're slow and you're lazy, but also because you hold your breath all the time, right? Which is hinting that Shirako is starting to pick up on something's wrong with Hoshino. She's hiding something. And Shirako is like, Hoshino, you can talk to me, right? You can, if there's something wrong, you can talk. We are your friends, right? We will help you, right? You can talk, right? You can do thing, right? And so Hoshino still brushing it off, like, oh, that's where the hugging comes in at the bottom, right? She's like, oh no, everything's fine, but thank you so much for being so kind, da 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 da. And then they go to the gift shop, and Hoshino wants to buy a big, expensive whale plushie that's like twice the size of her, right? And then Sensei's like, okay, I'll pay for it. Okay, I'll pay for it. And then the second part comes in where Shirako's on the way to school on her bike, but what's that? That's Hoshino going into a back alley. Ooh. What's going on here? And then she goes, she disappeared. Where did she go? And then a car drives by, and Shirako's like, man, that looks like Hoshino in the back of that car. Why is she in the car? What happened? What happened, Ellie? What's happening? And then they get to school, and Shirako confronts Hoshino about this. It's like, well, I saw you on the street. What were you doing in the street, in the back alley, and then in the car, right? And Hoshino's like, oh, maybe look. There's plenty of people that look like. There's
pink
plenty.
hair,
You
heterochromia, weird symbol.
Pink hair, weird halo above my head. Like it could have been anyone. What do you mean? But then when Hoshino's trying to get out of the situation, Shirako grabs her arm and is like, no, you're going to fucking tell me what's wrong. And a bit of paper falls out of Hoshino's bag, Elliot. A bit of paper falls out, and Shirako grabs it and is like, what the fuck is that? And suddenly everyone barges into the room and is like, what's going on? Why are you two fighting? What's happening? And Hoshino's like, oh, no, it's just a little misunderstanding. I gotta go. And she just bolts the fuck out, right? And then it turns out on the roof, Shirako meets with Sensei and is like, it's a letter of dropping out of the academy.
Ooh.
She's going to leave Abydos, Ellie. Why is she leaving? Why does Hoshino want to leave Abydos? What's going on? What? Why wouldn't she talk to us about this? And Sensei has to tell Shirako, maybe she's not telling you because she's trying to, because she trusts you and doesn't want you to interfere, and is trying to protect you from whatever shady thing is going on, right? Because it might be connected to some stuff that she doesn't want you to get hurt. But we're going to fight. We're going to figure it out, and we're going to do something about it. And Shiriko's like, awesome. And then we go into our shadowy business black suit man, who's like, haha, the plan, the Kokaku, it's in motion. For the last like 3 episodes, he's been like showing up every now and then. He's been like, haha, my plan is going all according to Kaikaku. Ooh, I'm spooky businessman. Ooh. And so so next episode, hopefully the plot's gonna get driven forward a little bit more. But this was a fun episode. I like there's a lot of foreshadowing going on, and I feel like if you didn't know what was coming, like I do, kind of, right? I think it would probably be quite good. I can understand why some people would think it was filler, but I feel what they're trying to do is they're trying to kind of combine some of the Momo Talk stuff. And it's, for context, the Momo Talk thing is the system where you chat with the girls on the phone, and then they'll be like, hey, do you want to hang out, like when your relationship level in the game rises enough, they'll be like, hey, do you want to hang out or something? And then you go, sure, and then you like go to the shopping mall and you have like you have a coffee with the student and they give you a thing, or you help them out with some work or something, and you have like your little storyline slice of life thing about their problems and helping them with their problems, and then you get the CG background for the login screen or whatever, right? And I feel like this episode was them kind of trying to add a little bit of that like levity into the show, so it's not just all kind of plot, right? It's like a bit of a break, right? It's a bit of a break, but at the same time, even though it's a bit of a break, things are still kind of moving. Right? It's still, you're still getting hints about the Hoshino stuff. You're still getting hints that, oh, something's up, there's something seriously wrong going on. Hoshino has this picture on her nightstand, and there's another. She's short-haired Hoshino with another character, but that character's nowhere to be seen. What happened to that other character, Ali? Ooh, history, lore. Ooh. Hoshino used to be this badass who would fight everything and be like take down entire armies or something. Like big threat to the other schools, but now she's just a dumb, lazy Oji-sama. Ooh. Why? Ooh, what happened? Right.
All right.
So it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. It's somewhat related. I watched the snake lady that I watched that does the fucking 5-hour lore videos. Put out the most recent one on Volume F, and I watched that. And man, fuck! If they get to Volume F, like if they keep the anime going, that's gonna be insane. I guess the final news about the anime also is the Twitter account did announce that they are going to be putting it up on YouTube in English for English-speaking regions. So it is going to be, because it's still unlicensed right now, so I'm guessing they're probably going to self-license and publish it, which is good, because it means Crunchyroll's not involved. So that's that's a good thing. That's a good thing, I guess. But they said, they're going to put it up on YouTube at some point. It's they're probably just doing it themselves, right? So we'll see what happens there. Maybe we can it could be a fun thing that you could just easily watch on YouTube and not have to worry so much about finding torrents all the time. So Blue Archive's good. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. We're gonna see what happens.
Do you
next
want to
episode.
talk about Kaiju 8? Or
might as well, since I'm talking a lot. I'll talk about Kaiju 8 and then I might go get
mainly because you haven't given me new images.
I know, I still keep giving. Just take the images out, Elliot. Just have the Kaiju 8 fucking whatever.
I can just
just whoosh those away. Go away, images. Go away.
Those Blue Archive
so this episode we got big fight with Mushroom Head Man, right? So there's a Mushroom Head Man, and he's the one making all the kaiju, right? And he made these mushroom kaijus, right? And he's so mad that they defeated his mushroom kaijus. So you have the main character's best friend and his friend, and they kind of have a confrontation with this clearly out of their league kaiju, and they're getting their shit wrecked, right? Like they're getting fucked up by him, just managing to survive. One of them's like, "No, you go get help. I will stop you from getting killed. Go get help." And then the guy goes off and runs, but he's mad because he he is like plateaued, but the other guy is still improving, right? And again, it goes back to the themes of natural talent versus fucking skill, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
one character might have more natural talent, but the other guy is, he's plateaued in his
Experience.
skill, experience, and stuff. So there's some interesting that overlying theme is still going on, right? But so the guy, he comes back. He's like, no, we're going to do this together. We're going to try and beat this guy together. And they do a really cool plan fight thing where they're helping each other, but it's not enough. The kaiju outsmarts him, and he uses the corpses to stop the blast. And then he's like, I'm gonna kidnap this one because this one might be we could take him back to the kaiju lair or whatever, like the hinted at kaiju lair, and we'll do experiments on him or something like that, right? And that's when our big boy shows up, and he's like, yeah, I'm here to save the day. And the best friend is like, damn it, I wasn't strong enough. He had to transform again, because the whole point is they don't want him to transform because they don't want him to get found out, right? So he shows up, and the other kaiju is like, hey, bro, you must be that Kaiju 8 fella. How are you fucking punched in the face? What are you doing? Hey, we're kaiju. What are you? Why are you punching me? What are you doing? And he's like, why are you fucking up my friends, bro? So they have this little conversation before Kaiju 8 starts showing off, like, how power, like, so they're kind of equally matched in power almost, in a sense. Kaiju 8 is a little bit more stronger, and he's kind of got the other guy on the back foot, and he's beating the shit out of him. But just before he can do the final blow, other members of the task force show up and are like, stop right there, criminal scum. Right? Stop right there. And that moment allows the Mushroom Man to regenerate enough to make his escape and go, I will kill you next time, Kaiju 8. I will you big betrayer. Why did you betray the kaiju? We will kill you, right? So and so. And Kaiju 8's like, damn, I have to protect the jobber members from getting attacked, right? And then he does, and then he jumps away, and he's running away. He's like, I have to get away so I can de-transform and then come back, right? But before he can do that, the second in command, slanted-eyed Joker Man shows up, who just thinks that, the main character's a joke, right? He's having fun with him, right? But he shows up, and now it's super serious because it's a one-on-one fight with him, and he's specialized in using swords and fighting kaiju up close. So he's gonna have to find a way to get out of this situation so he doesn't get found out, and he also doesn't want to kill his friend, the commander guy, right? So it's big interesting things happening right now. Big interesting things happening in Kaiju 8. So yeah, it's quite good. I've been enjoying it. I think Kaiju 8 is a fun series. Very, very fun. Very shonen-y, with big power.
Yeah.
Power scale, I need to get stronger, I'm too weak, not necessarily from Kaiju, but from the other characters, right? They're all kind of like pushing each other to get stronger. We have to get stronger, bigger percentage on our suits, right? Bigger, unleashing of our potential, right? We need to draw it out. We need to do it. Big thing, right? Some people plateau, some people don't. Some people need better skills, some people natural talent, right? Very interesting. So we'll see how he makes his way out of having to deal with, oh no, the guy that is always, laughing and being funny and, well, not being mean. Like, it's more like their relationship is more kind of like he loves his antics, but he is also kind of like, yeah, I want to see you succeed too. Like, they have a conversation a few episodes back where he's like, you want to be you basically want to take my job, don't you? Because you want to be next to the girl, right? The childhood friend, right? And he's like, you're going to have to go through me, right? And they have a conversation that's kind of like that, but he's like, I welcome the challenge. You do your best, right? I think you're a bit of a funny man, but I think you're a funny man, but I also, you better be ready for a fight, right? You better be ready for a fight. We're gonna have a friendly little rivalry type thing, right? It's gonna be cool, right? And he's always seen as being kind of laid back, not super serious. He kind of is joking around, But then he's fighting Kaiju 8 now, and his eyes are open, and he's got this death steer look. It's time to unleash the limit. He literally does a unleash the limiters on my suit. It's time for real fight time, right? He's like, time for real fight time now. You know, and so it's quite fun. It's quite fun. I like Kaiju 8. I think it's quite good. So yeah. Anywho, what else we got?
I'll go through my 2 other shows. That is Jellyfish.
Yeah, you do that. I'm getting a drink, so I'll be back in a second.
All right. So, Jellyfish Can Swim in the Night. We're already coming up to the 1-year anniversary of that first performance in episode 1. So, rather quickly, an entire year has passed. It's not very much a slice of life in that way, because, you know, a slice of life always end up being in the present. Nothing ever changes. But yeah, people got a motor license in the meantime. People made decisions about their future student careers. So maybe it's somewhat expected that they don't do the slice of life and that everything just, they live in the now forever. So they look for a room to do some brainstorming in, and it turns out to be a love hotel. Everybody is a little bit awkward about it, except our main protagonist, Yoru, who, with a few button presses, manages to rent a love hotel room very easily. It's a funny moment. She plays it off. The others worry that she's come here more all the time. She denies with a smile, which makes them only more worried. Funny moment, funny scene. They talk about how they are going to set up the concert and do some make up a new song, make up new art, make up new everything. Also, they are going to do it live. But they are anonymous performers, so they are going to do it on Halloween, as they did last time, with wearing masks. All good, all fine, except they've been found out.
Oh no.
So some YouTube guy has figured out that
some YouTube hater.
Yeah, it is actually a YouTube hater with red lights and a
big thumbnail with red arrows that text "same person."
Just a guy behind his computer with a mic on an arm is doing some, you know, Twitter, YouTube report that the idol that's violently beaten her fellow members is now indie and doing a concert at this time, at this place, with this people, etc., etc. So the concert venue is saying, hey, we're getting kind of death threats and whatnot. We want to cancel.
Yeah. Hey, there's a bomb threat going. This is a bit intense. We're not sure about this. We kind of
we don't want to do it anymore. But our idol crazy fangirl is just slams an envelope with a bunch of cash in it and says,
it's just money.
I'll pay for anything that might ever happen. Yeah. But they decided to do it without an audience, but they are going to live stream it on the internet. They are kind of awkward and worried about the whole affair of the threats and being found out and having no audience. But Yoru is doing a smart thing. She's projecting all the fan art of the mascot character of their band, of their persona, all over the concert venue. So our main focal point idol character is encouraged. They do the music, song, and the anime, and it went well. Ignore the haters. Play your songs. People like the new stuff, and they don't care about much.
Hoot is gonna hoot.
Anyway,
haters gonna hoot.
But Nretsew, Corporate has noticed the band.
Oh, big corpo time. Oh,
There's
boy.
a slight caveat though. Corporate is her mother.
Oh,
You know, the idol,
uh-oh.
our main idol character was in a band, and the band was managed by her mother. Then she left the band,
Oh.
and now her mother is now again scouting her own daughter.
Let's try, yeah. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. Kind of.
Yeah, so she's scouting her own daughter again.
Kind of weird.
But she kind of left to also get away from her mother or something. Because the whole thing with the conflict in the previous band, in the previous group, was the idea that she got preferential treatment from her mother.
Right.
And now she's being scouted by her mother. It's weird.
Yeah, once again.
But it's also corporate. It's the next step for a band that only plays via online concerts.
It ain't child labor if it's your child.
Well, that ain't true. But that's the gist of this episode. The weird. It ends with the prospect of mom scouting the child that didn't want people to think that her mother gave her preferential treatment.
So that's going to be the central conflict next time, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's jellyfish. Let's talk about Konosuba because we kind of
Konosuba. Yes.
Let's talk about Konosuba again. Last episode we left off with the Hydra awakened.
Oh boy.
And they skip over the entire battle. Presumably Kazuma and Darkness got eaten at some point. Aqua got off the Hydra somehow. Megumin blasted the Hydra at some point. Kazuma is completely naked somehow.
Things happen.
And he is cheering up Darkness because she's kind of down. And it's there's an old vibe going on, Nretsew. Darkness is very insistent on killing that Hydra.
Yes, must kill Hydra. Very big kill Hydra.
There's an odd atmosphere around it. Darkness is being sentimental with Kazuma, insistent on killing the Hydra. She's bringing Megumin over there every day to blast at the Hydra and then carrying Megumin back.
Yeah, just nuclear kill Hydra.
Until at some point when Megumin, when one morning she's going there alone to face the Hydra, which is just a dumb idea. So Kazuma says, well, damn, you two, slow her down. I'll think of something. And what Kazuma thought of was just bringing every adventurer in the town over to together defeat the Hydra. So every archer, rogue,
the gang's all here.
Well,
the
entire city of adventurers is there. So every archer is, doing an entire is firing big ass bows, artillery pieces. Thieves create a bunch of rope. Fighters hold the line. All magic casters give their mana to Megumin. And in the end, Kazuma is doing Drain Touch on the Hydra to drain its magic entirely, so it doesn't have the magic to regenerate. When in there's a moment there where Darkness is holding in the entire head of the Hydra on her back, is holding it up so Kazuma doesn't get crushed to death. Kazuma says, "Bitch, keep stay still." And Darkness is aroused by the conflicting of, yes, I am saving Kazuma right now. I am the one who has his life in my hands. But also Kazuma is giving me orders as a slave. I the slave holds the life of my master in my hand. So
Yeah, as you do.
Darkness is having a moment, but in the end it works out. Megumin does a big ass blast. Hydra is defeated. Everybody is happy.
Hey, good times. Hey.
But Darkness is again being wistful. It's odd.
Okay.
But then the next day in Nretsew, there's a letter. It says, I'm leaving the party. Goodbye.
Oh no!
All this time, this adventure was just her desire for one last adventure together. Her goal was defeating the Hydra, not out of some obligation or whatever. It was, let's have one fun time together. But she couldn't say it because then they would know that she would leave.
Oh no! How could she do this?
Yeah.
How could she do this? So bad.
And this,
oh no!
This feels very much that it still ties into the royal family, for the royals, the nobility stuff. So
yeah,
this
Konosuba is still good.
It's still good. This episode, funny is all around except the end where it suddenly becomes serious.
Yeah, super serial.
Big society has demanded that Darkness has to go and leave the party to do some nobility stuff.
Oh no! How could she do this?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that's the big question for next week. What's going on? Why exactly did she have to leave? And is it related to the fat noble guy that wanted to marry her all this time? Probably.
So, have we got anything else, or are we?
That were Jellyfish and Konosuba. The last one is Mushoku Tensei.
Ah, yes.
And my
we are getting into the new arc.
My prediction came true, Nretsew.
Indeed it did. So,
as a reminder, my prediction was, because Nanahoshi or Silent 7 Star said she traveled through gates, teleport circles, and then I said, hey, Rudy might be using those to get to the other continent, and lo and behold,
he uses them to get to the other continent
instead of entire year's travel ahead and a year's travel back.
He might be able to get there and come back just in time for the birth. Yes.
Of his child and Sylvie's child.
So basically the TLDR is they decide to, him and the elf girl, right, the grandma, decide, the slutty grandma decide, yep, we're gonna go help Paul, let's do it. Sylvie's like, yeah, no, it's all goods, don't worry, I will be fine, right? The two girls are like, yep, we'll look after the house while you're gone, everything will be fine, don't worry, right? And yeah, this is just kind of the setup, I guess, and we get to see some good scenes of the grandma girl and Rudy interacting, and she Rudy being tempted. Although in that particular scene, I wonder how much of that was Rudy being Rudy and how much of it was the succubus doing funky succubus magic.
I think there's
stuff,
there is a Rudy is very much intent to be faithful to Sylvie. So
yes, so I think it was more succubus fuckery going on.
Him being the first, him using the chastity belt him being the first user of the chastity belt was a funny.
Yeah.
Because we
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
seen her use the chastity belt at all. We only see Rudy
Mm.
use it. So for all we know, Rudy is the first user of the chastity belt.
Yeah, yeah. Because essentially, because in that scene, right, with the succubus, right, it's implied that the succubus is producing some kind of like, because the elf girl mentions, oh, I fucking hate that smell, right, like that succubus stank, right. So supposedly the succubus was producing some, and I think you see in the animation there's like this pink kind of mist.
It's a
Every now and
poison
then.
of some kind, a poison mist of some kind.
I assumed it was like an aphrodisiac type poison thing to make you want to fuck the succubus, right? You know, like, makes sense. You know,
Yeah,
succubus
it is
use-
somehow magical, because all these circumstances in the aftermath points towards it being, yes, a poison, but it's a poison that poisons your mana and makes you horny for the succubus.
makes you horny, yeah. And then, well, horny in general, because Rudy was at first like, oh, I want to, do I not? And then he resists, and then he's like, oh, wait, there's a outside succubus. Ooh, so that was kind of cool. And then yeah, it's basically just more them traveling, them fighting together, them being a good team, killing the two griffins, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they work well together. They're a good
Also,
team up.
funny detail that the dragon god keeps a spare cloak in the
Yeah, he keeps a spare cloak in the fucking cupboard. And Rudy is both like, what the fuck, and also, oh shit.
He could come through at any moment here.
Any moment, yeah. Shit. We should get moving, yeah. So yeah, all around it was a pretty good episode. I thought it was really good. I thought it was, it's definitely one of those like transitional episodes, right? Where we're just kind of traveling, right? We're getting from point A to point B. There's not really that much of a plot, right? It's just sort of, okay, they go to a town. She goes to whore out in the town because she has to, right? She managed to resist it for a while, but she still has to do it, right? She's still got to go do her thing, right? And then, oh, well, we fight a griffin on the way. Oh, magic is super convenient because I can use the earth to climb the mountain. We can get there, quick. And then we end on big bones, big thing in desert with oasis city thing in it. Very cool. I'm glad you put that in the shot too, actually, because it was a very cool shot. Very cool world building thing.
There's some desert. People hate on deserts in general, but deserts are pretty
people
cool.
do. Yeah, deserts can be. Yeah, they could be cool. Yeah, they could be cool. And I'd say that that's a pretty cool looking desert city. It looks pretty neat. Look, it's just neat. It's just neat.
Yeah.
So all around, I'd say good episode. Or all around, I'd say. So we'll see what happens next time. Hopefully.
Yeah, like we said, there isn't much story. There isn't much big story progression, plot progression, character progression going on. This is very the in between of, hey, we're leaving. Hey, we're traveling. Hey, we're here.
Hey, we're leaving. Big sad goodbyes. We'll see you again. Yada yada. Teleport. Okay, here's some like stuff that happened along
scene
the way,
setting,
right?
Getting to know the local fauna.
Desert is hot. Succubus hot. Rudy, control yourself, right? I did like the how Rudy, when he's under the succubus thing, he's like to the elf girl, let's get dirty together. And she bonks him, and then like once Rudy's out of it, she's like making fun of him, like, let's get dirty. They're just having a fun time, all right? They're having a fun time. It's all good, right? So yeah, definitely I agree with you. It's like, not a lot of plot, not a lot of like forward plot progression, but it's nice, just like with Blue Archive, it's nice to sometimes have a bit of a, when you have the time, right, to have a break, right? Because obviously Mushoku Tensei has a lot of episodes, so they've got more time to be able to have these sort of in between break episode type things. They're not rushed by the 12 episode format. And you could argue that Blue Archive kind of is, but Blue Archive also has a shitload of source material that is probably also going to get a second season, third season, fourth season, so on, so on, so on, so right, for all the other different fucking arcs, right?
I
So
wonder,
you don't.
I know that Blue Archive is a gacha game and therefore isn't that limited to production committees and per se the sales of figurines and whatnot of the anime.
It's all being funded by, and it's also done in house too.
So some
in house with help from another studio. Yeah.
So some of the costs they can just do it themselves, but I wonder how much they will make for themselves. Because on the other hand, this might not be a money making thing. It might be a vanity project.
Maybe. Samuel's like Blue Archive was made to be an anime IMO. Yeah, I kind of feel that too. But maybe because we're kind of done with Mushoku Tensei now. I guess we're kind of don't have much else to really talk about with it. And I don't think we have any other anime, so I guess we could just shoot the shit for a little because we got tons of time anyway. Because we blitzed through Mother's Basement really quick. We could just kind of shoot the shit. We need like a screen that's just kind of like a GIF or something. That's just like shoot the shit, shoot the shit screen.
We have all the fancy. Oh, this is the wrong one.
Put up like a girl. Oh no. Put up like a I don't know.
That old thing.
Whoosh. Yeah, maybe we'll work on that. We'll put up a fucking get a GIF, a fun anime GIF or something. We'll put that up on stream. But anyhow, the Blue Archive stuff, right? Because again, I mentioned I watched that lore episode about it, and it's quite interesting. If fan art, if we ever get fan art, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. But like. Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea because it's like I said, Blue Archive I'm pretty sure is mostly intern. Yeah, bring it back up. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah,
it's mostly internal house, right? I think that they do have another animation studio working with them, but it's mostly Yostar / Nexon / the Blue Archive devs funding / paying for it. So it's kind of it's Yostar Pictures, right? So. Yeah, I guess they don't have to worry as much about selling the figures or selling the stuff because that's already getting sold by the gacha game, right? Like that's already, people are already buying figures just because the gacha exists, right? Or they're paying for the gacha in a sense. So, the stuff I want to talk about with Blue Archive, but it's like super spoilery because it's
also
stuff that
way
happens
in the
like
future. I assume
it's like way in the future because this fucking. Like, because Volume F was like the end of the first arc of the story, right? Because the way it's formatted is you have like, right, this is the Abydos kind of storyline, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the beginning of the game, right? The first part of the thing, and then you're gonna get Millennium and Gehenna and the whole Eden Treaty with Trinity or the Makeup Work Club, right? And so, this isn't going to mean fucking anything to you. I'm speaking Chinese right now, right? So it doesn't matter. But like, there's like all these different arcs that happen and all these massive things happen in these arcs. And then you have Volume F, which is kind of like, okay, this is the culmination, like the fucking big final pinpoint and then moving into the next arc, I guess, right? And so I watched that recently, and it's like, man, Blue Archive has some fucking themes, dude. It has some fucking... It's tackling some really interesting concepts. Maybe not necessarily in a unique way, because it is kind of getting into this whole multiverse, different realities, different, stuff going on, right? There's some talks about, what actually are the girls, right? What's the lore behind them? Why do they have these halos? What are the halos? How, what happens when they get corrupted, right? But there's this overall feeling, like, I think the word that comes up to mind when it's like the theme of Blue Archive is it's about responsibility, right? It's about the sensei taking responsibility for the students so that they can live these kind of carefree lives where they're able to do stuff like go to the aquarium and hang out with their friends and do like the fun, quirky, fun activity, wacky hijink stuff, right? And so the teacher's responsibility is to ensure that these students, his students, are able to live these happy lives, right? And help them solve the problems that can arise from these wacky, both the silly wacky antics and also the outsider forces that want to kind of use them for their own ends, right? And it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Blue Archive is in general. It's a shame I don't play it and I just watched lore videos. I was also watching because someone on YouTube has uploaded all those Momo talks, right? Which are actually really easy to digest because they're only like the Momo talks themselves, like they're only like 20 minutes, right? Because it's just like short little segments of story, right? Where you have like, okay, you'll meet up with one girl. One of them is so one of the girls from the Problem Solver Task Force, the purple-haired girl who blows up the thing. There's like a story. The story with her is she texts the sensei by accident, and it turns out she's like setting up claymores in a fucking school to try and take out a target, and the sensei's like, "You're not doing that. We're gonna take the claymores down now, right?
Yeah.
No more claymores." Also, hi David, we're talking about Blue Archive because fuck it. He's got no one else to talk about. Take down the claymores now, and she's like, I'm sorry, because her whole thing is she's like, she thinks she's a fuck up, right?
Oh.
And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm a worthless piece of trash. I'm sorry. And Sensei's like, no, you're not a worthless piece of trash. It's okay. We all make mistakes, okay? It's all right, okay? And she's kind of, then she gets this kind of like hint of yandere that shows up, where she's like, Sensei praised me. But then the next one, so this is where the story kind of continues, right? And then the next one, she's like, oh, I have a gift for you, Sensei. Meet me on the thing. And the gift that she gives Sensei is a pot plant filled with weeds. And obviously obviously the joke is like 420 blaze it, weed, right? Whatever. But it's actually like she has a hobby where she grows weeds because she views herself as a weed, because weeds are worthless and they're just treaded on and they're growing in the pavement and people don't appreciate weeds. So she grows weeds in her spare time. And then there's like a worm in the weeds and she's like, how dare this worm fucking be in the weeds that I'm giving to Sensei. So she pulls out her shotgun and shoots the fucking pot plant and it blows up in Sensei's face. And she's like, shit. Just runs off. And a lot of them are like that. A lot of these little like character stories are kind of like that. And there's this duality in them in the way that the story is kind of portrayed, where it's kind of like Sensei is responsible for protecting the girl's ability to have these like little slice of life kind of moments that happen, right? So it's quite, it's there's some interesting stuff going on. It's quite cool. I like Blue Archive. I like the fact that Blue Archive exists, even though I don't play it. Right? I like the fact that you can have these kind of games, even though they're gacha, right? Where they can tell wildly different themes and stories. Like Arknights is a lot more about world building and the construction of this world and the characters within it and how they interact with the world around them and all the different events that happen, like the wars and the conflicts. And then on the micro level, you have stories that are just like people trying to live their lives in spite of the rock cancer and the discrimination and the racism stuff and all of that, right? And then you have Girls Frontline, which is like a military thriller type story, right? Where it's very Ghost in the Shell, spy thriller type stuff sometimes, or big high concepts like AI and do androids have souls, right? And all this other type of stuff that's being asked by Girls Frontline and whatnot. And I feel like a lot of people, dismiss gotcha and gotcha storytelling because they feel like it's, limited, right? Because they can't do certain things because of app store restrictions or because of the way that gotcha stories are often told through events and stuff, right? But I just don't see it. I don't see this limitation that people keep talking about because I feel like they are telling these very in-depth, complicated type narratives, but I don't know. I guess people just
No,
don't have
every
experience.
medium can tell its stories. It's only that the medium kind of sets the often boundaries in the systems of gotcha. Doesn't really lend towards at least often that you can have characters that stick around or for a very long time to the point that you can bond and have stories with them, because gotcha is often have the new banner, have the new strong character that replaces the old characters.
But I think that there's I feel like there's an interesting kind of question to be asked about that though, because you have I play Neural Cloud, right? And Neural Cloud handles this in a very different way to other gotchas that I've been playing, because they have their big events as well. But a lot of the story is also being told through the character events, which are every time they bring out a new character, they come alongside just a little mini, maybe 5 or 6 chapter event, not very intensive, right? It's just kind of you can quickly get through it. But a lot of the world building and a lot of the storytelling comes from these little character events. Like the one that's on right now is there's a detective character, and it's talking about his past in the real world where he was a detective, and there's a Sherlock Holmes Moriarty scenario where Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes are teaming up to go after a guy who kidnapped the other character, right? And there's some interesting stuff going on there. The last one was a Shrine Maiden girl who there was some interesting stuff there because she's a Shrine Maiden who's a doll that was made to be a Shrine Maiden, but how can you be a Shrine Maiden in a world where religion is being lost? Because the setting of Girls Frontline is post-apocalyptic in a sense, where the collapse fluid stuff happened and kind of destroyed a lot of the landmass, right? And there's a lot of irradiated areas that people have been displaced. People, the entirety of Japan is basically fucking gone, right? There's a whole how can you be a Shrine Maiden in that kind of scenario, right? And how do you keep tradition and religion alive in a world that's growing further and further away from said traditions, right? And does this doll even have a right to carry on those traditions because she's not even human, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't, how can a doll understand the concept of God and spirits and that kind of thing, because it's all obviously Shinto religion because she's a Shrine Maiden, right? How does that work? And then a lot of the stories in the Neural Cloud, right, in the cloud server, because that one is less about, because sometimes the stories are about what was the doll like in the real world, what exploits did they do in the real world, and sometimes it's more about what are they doing in the server, right? And so the Shinto Shrine Maiden girl, she's isolated herself in her shrine, and she's not interacting with the other characters. And that's kind of worrying to the professor. So the professor's like, "Hey, why don't you come to the Oasis and hang out, and maybe we'll do some things." And she interacts with the other characters. They all kind of have there's these ghosts. We have to do stuff to solve the ghost problem, and they go through this whole kind of arc where they find out, the ghosts are actually a byproduct of this person testing explosives or something, or this one character's Neural Cloud is acting up, so she's acting possessed, but she's actually just overworking herself and sleepwalking, right? And this is and stuff like that. And so the Shrine Maiden's maybe there is a place for some of this religious stuff, because it does end up solving people's problems in the end, even if it's not, quote unquote real, and so there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with these little character events, and that's kind of something that is a byproduct and a limitation of the gotcha, right? Because it's obviously coming alongside their banner and you can roll with them.
Yeah.
But you also don't have to roll for them. And I don't actually roll for them because a lot of the time I save up in Neural Cloud until it's a doll that I actually like, right, and care about. and then I roll for them. But I still get to interact with the story. I still get to play, play the story. The gameplay maps are not really that integrated that much with it. It's more just like kind of, you just go through the map. It's a really easy map. Get the story, read about the doll, right? Continue from there. So so I think that while there is some limitation to gotcha storytelling, right? And I think we've had a few conversations about this in the past, right? A few other streams. There are definitely pros and cons, just like any medium. And I feel like people don't really talk about the pros as much when it comes to gotcha. There's always this negativity.
Well, the gotcha is more of a system than a narrative structure, because gotcha can every story can have gotcha in some way. It's really...
I mean, Overwatch has loot boxes, which is basically gotcha.
Yeah.
Then again, Overwatch doesn't have a single player, I guess, but like, that has.
But the funny thing, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 does.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it does.
So and
that's a single player game. Yeah.
Yeah, and the gotcha is a core element of the story because in simple terms, you have core crystals. Those core crystals, when bonded with a driver, a person, the consciousness, the entity of the core crystal wakes up and takes form, and that can be, and that's how you get distinct characters out of these core crystals. And then these core crystals, when they wake up, they don't have memories of what happened last time, but they do keep their personality to some extent. And often it is that you kind of either, it's often that you find things of their previous lives, and they want to know something about the previous lives, or they are insecure in some way, or they discover something that are interested in general. This one guy is interested in rocks. This one is interested in music and books and all that stuff. So you get to have these stories only when you rolled these characters in a single player game.
Which is interesting compared to how, like I just mentioned with Neural Cloud, where you don't even have to roll. Right, you get that story anyway. Basically, like the rolling is like completely separate from the actual like story element of it. Well, and I mean, I think that's kind of similar for most gotcha actually, because Arknights kind of does the same thing. Like they'll have a story event. That story event will come with new characters or new alternates for existing characters, and then you'll get to play the storyline, and that will have those characters in the storyline, right? And I think part of that, you could have a cynical perspective on that, and you could say that that's like, oh, they want you to read the story and then get attached to the character, so you roll for them, right? Like, I could see that being a possible argument, right? But I don't know, because it's like people want to have two arguments at once. They want to have the argument that, oh, the gotcha is like diminishing the story, right, by existing. But then at the same time, it's like, oh, but then the story just exists to move the gotcha. It's weird. It's this weird thing.
Yeah, like the chat is saying a little bit. Gotcha is still a system, and systems do affect how you tell a story, even if they don't dictate the stories you can tell with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of get you. Yeah, but it's an interesting. I think it's an interesting topic to talk about, especially since I don't think
it's in the same way that if you watch an anime and it has a lot of talking, you can kind of safely assume it's adapted from a light novel of some kind.
If this is like a 4-coma adaptation or a slice of life adaptation,
and if it's you can feel if it's adapted from 4-coma. If it's if you can have 4 distinct chapters in one episode, then it's probably from 4-coma. If you have a lot of striking scenes, a lot of shots, and a lot of action, fast-paced action, you can probably assume it's from a manga that had double spread pages and quick fights, choreographed fight scenes. Because you have that in a manga, therefore you can translate that into an anime, whilst the light novel will have a lot of talking, and the talking will probably be good, but it will have very little in the way of fights and action.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting stuff. Yeah. So I guess since I'm speaking of God, I'm trying to because the Ghost in the Shell collab happened in GFL recently. That was kind of disappointing. It was all right. It was all right, but I feel like the writing was a little bit like the characterization of the commander was a little bit weird, and I think it kind of a good the collab didn't feel as integrated as the Gunslinger Girl collab. It just kind of felt like, oh, the Ghost in the Shell characters just exist in the GFL universe. Apparently, it's not. It wasn't quite well done. I don't think so. It was disappointing. The Arknights event though was really good. The German based one with the music nerd and the Witch King and the existential chaotic alternate dimension shit fighting against the chaos. It wants to like the Witch King's entire thing is he wants to rebel against the creator and God and stuff. There's a lot of shit going on. It's quite interesting. So your gotchas have been kind of hot lately. Of course, everyone's been talking about Lane and Nikkei because they've been having fucking fights with each other to see who could be the most fucking sexual to the point of getting banned on Twitter. Who can outsex the other? Oh,
let them fight.
No matter. Look. We win in the end, right? We get the cool outfit. Dishwasher, right? The artist who's been working with Lane for a while. He's cooking. He's constantly cooking. Like he put out, like they're coming out with a wedding dress for one of his characters, and the wedding dress is like fucking, like fuck it. I'll just go find it. Fuck it, because it's so crazy. Like it's literally fucking her ass is just there. It's just exposed. There's no fucking like. There's literally no fucking where is it? I have to find it because I was talking to someone else about it because I linked them to a friend that I. Where the fuck is it? Because I saw it somewhere in here. Oh yeah, here it is. I'll just
link it in the chat. Something.
I'll copy. Do you want the image or the tweet? Probably the image, because if you open the tweet, it might be mature, restricted, whatever the fuck. Where is cast?
Discord.
I'll put it in cast text for you. There you go. So this is what Dish posted. This is what Dish posted. Because the whole skin is where is it? This one. I'll put the whole skin in there too. Because Dish posted that, and then the whole skin is this one. It's fucking man, they're cooking, dude. They're fucking cooking. Them Lane girl.
Link it in the chat.
I did. I put it in the. Oh yeah, I'll link the tweet. Yeah, hang on.
Yeah, in the YouTube chat. I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just gotta
because chats.
I just gotta go grab it for the chat. Yeah, where is it? Bam! There you go. There's your.
Hey.
There's your Dishwasher's a cool dude. He's cooking some shit, mate. He cooks real hard. He's making some good stuff. Really like the stuff that he makes. But yeah, you can see what I mean though. It's like damn, he's just like all in on
the skin.
On showing that ass. Showing that ass though.
Yeah. So I'll quickly go through what I've been playing, I guess.
Oh yeah, you've been
I started up Dishonored 2 because I recently told somebody what games I had, and I mentioned Dishonored 2, and I've been wanting to play Dishonored 2 for a while, so I just started up Dishonored 2. Have you heard of the Dishonored 2 time shifting mention?
I've seen some footage of it where it's like you can like shift between 2 points in time or something. And there's like it's very it looks very cool. I've seen some pictures of it and
everybody really likes
Twitter.
It's a highlight, but I don't like the mechanic.
Contrarian that you are.
I am
you have to.
Because my style is of playing Dishonored and most of these what's it called, immersive sim games, is sitting on a ledge for 5 minutes, watching every guard's patrol route, and then jumping down, taking care of the one guard, and jumping back on the ledge, and then watching the other patrol guards' route to see another opening, and then jump down, take one out, hide the body, and then back on the ledge until there's no guards left.
Right.
And then I'll
just,
go.
Just systematically destroying.
And I can't when I'm stuck in the one. Because you have only a small window where you can see the other time period. I don't like it. I only have like a small window when I want to have a wide overview of the entire place, of the entire scene. So I can't play the way I like to play. Although, time shifting is cool and all that, I can't sit on a ledge and watch all the patrol routes. So I don't like it as much.
Right. They've ruined your favorite style of play.
Yeah, ruined.
It's totally.
I've left it. I've last played it like Monday or so, and I'll get back to it at some point.
Yeah, I got to get back to my video. Well, I have been playing one game, but we'll probably get demonetized if I talk about it. I've talked about porn games on that. I've talked about porn games. No, not Nerogay. It's this text-based browser type game called because I got clued into it in a different server that I'm in. It's called Course of Temptation, and it's kind of like you've played Degrees of Nudity, right?
Yeah.
You know about Degrees of Nudity. It's kind of like Degrees of Nudity, except not lolly. It's kind of like Degrees of Nudity, and the whole thing is it's like a American college simulator, right?
There's so many of those.
There's so many. Yeah, there's a lot of them. But this one seems pretty well done, right? Because it's basically you go to college and you do your classes and you have to make enough money. And my character has been making a ton of money at the arcade doing side bets where if you lose, you may or may not have to suck some dick. So it's been there's some good stuff. There's some good stuff. Sammy. Yeah, it's Course of Temptation. If you just type that in, you'll probably find it. And you can play it on it's on itch.io as well. You can download it local and run it from local, or you can do it online. But it's better to run it local because if you save. You should do your saves locally because if your browser fucks up, then you lose your saves, right? So it's good to do it local.
The thing is, I've played a bunch of these HTML games, and most of them never go beyond version 1.
This one's at
0.1.
This is at 0.5, and I think it's at 0.4 right now. I think 0.5 is coming out in like a few days. And it's going to add like NPC relationships and schedules and shit and all this other nonsense.
There was a time that I played like 20 of those in a short time, and most of them fall in like the same trappings, the same things you do, and
kind of. I mean, it's
I've fallen out, and I'll get back to them at some point. New stories.
Because I think that with this one, like I said, I got clued into it, and I thought, fuck it, it's browser based. I could just play it on the laptop while I'm not doing anything, just fucking bring it up, and it's all text. It's all text based. There's not a lot of pictures, right? It's just like all the story is mostly all done through text, right? Which is has its benefits and its you have advantages and disadvantages of that because obviously you don't have actual visual porn, right? But you have like more freedom, I guess, because it's all you could write. It's like write it instead of having to commission art or whatever, or use AI or something. So there's advantages and disadvantages to it. But I've been having a good time. I'm taking a bit of a break from it now, right? Because I do think that one of the problems is it gets a bit repetitive, where you're basically just doing the same thing a lot because that's what makes money, right? Because you need to be able to pay the tuition weekly thing, but then you also have to make sure that you accommodate the needs. You have to go. You have to eat. You have to do all the things, right? So on and so forth, right? And so if you're not into like the grindy type aspect, it might be a bit of a pain. But there's plenty of good content, if you know what I mean, going on in there.
Yeah.
It might be fun
a
for some people.
game that I actually put a lot of time in this week was V Rising. A little bit again. Last time I spoke of it, I was like level 60, I believe. Now I'm, close to level 80, and the the big boss, last boss, is level 90. So I'm getting closer to the end. It's a little bit of a grind, because the game throws up these walls, where if you want to have better gear, you have to defeat a boss that is like 5 levels higher than you. And now I'm kind of stuck on another gate, a boss that will unlock new stuff, to new upgrade materials. The ability to make the new next level of upgrade materials. But he's a very annoying boss that at the third through duplicates himself, and then you have 2 bosses that have a very heavy damage dealing attack. But before I complain about that particular boss, I have to commend V Rising in that all the bosses are fairly unique. I would even say that the earlier bosses feel like reskins of the first bosses are mostly reskins of regular enemies, but later bosses are all unique with unique mechanics. One of them is in an arena, and then they electrify the edges of the arena and try to push you into the edges. The other is throwing down flame tornadoes, and you have to Toho dodge through the flames. Then there's this one fight in a church, and if you stand too close to the pillars shoot holy beams out of it, so you have to be a little bit more in the center. There are 2 of bosses that just run away. They don't do anything else but run away. The first one is in a
run away.
Yeah, the first one is in a town, and well, most bosses fight you where you are, so you can, if you clear out the area a little bit, you don't have to worry about other enemies, coming near you and running into you, fighting you. When the boss runs away, you have to fight the entire town, because the boss just runs through the entire town, and you have to go after it. So every enemy in the town, every guard, every soldier will go after you, because they see you running after the boss through the town. So the boss battle isn't even against the boss; it's against the thousands of regular enemies that.
Also, 5-0's jumping out. So later 5-0.
Yeah,
we're probably gonna be calling it.
Yeah,
I'll let you finish your chat.
Yeah, we've met the 3-hour mark. So, just the second time you encounter an enemy, it's in a cursed forest that takes away your map and your ability to see further than 1 meter. So you stay in the cursed forest for a little while, and you can't see anything beyond a meter in front of you, of your character. And that boss runs away from you. So you have to run through the forest with dangerous enemies that you don't see coming, because it's a super dense fog. And you don't have a map in this fog, in this new area that you don't know, because there's a dense fog. So it's a challenge. The game does fun stuff, even when the boss has the same mechanic, running away. One is through a town, And the second time is through a super dense fog with enemies you don't see coming at all. And you have to run after the boss, otherwise the boss gets away and all your damage
Yeah.
you'd have done to it disappears. They regenerate.
Spaghetti.
It's a fun game with some gripes on progression and a little bit too much of a hurdle at some points. And this, for now, this one boss that I have to defeat, even though it's duplicating, and it doesn't do anything with its damage output. It just 2 times damage.
It's just being annoying, yeah.
Yeah, so right now I'm grinding for better armor and hoping I can deal with it that way. But that's my one complaint. But once I defeat this boss, I'll be able to rush through other bosses and probably defeat Dracula himself.
Ooh,
So
fun.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
That's my gaming report.
That's the end of gaming. So I guess we should. Speaking of gaming, may or may not be doing E3 stuff, even though it's not E3 anymore. But they may or may not be doing video game
E3.
coverage. Yeah, we may or may not, because Ellie, you've got stuff happening.
Yeah, I likely have to. My family will likely call upon me, so I might not be able to be at my computer next week at the regular times.
Yeah. So we will have to see what happens with that. We may or may not cover stuff. We may or may we may.
Besides,
may
most
it,
most of the presentations aren't that interesting anyway.
Yeah.
Or so we tell ourselves.
So while we still watch them and fucking rip on them for Jeff Keighley being funny advertising man, funny adverts.
Yeah.
Funny stuff.
Quick last thing. I did watch the PlayStation thing.
There was a PlayStation thing.
Yeah, there was a
I'm just kind of like, wait, what? There was a what?
There was a PlayStation thing yesterday. It felt more like a normal.
I think that kind of shows you how much I give a shit about the PlayStation.
The thing of note was that there were 2, super fancy Chinese games.
Oh yeah.
And
that's good.
None of those super fancy Chinese games has come out, other than Stellar Blade, I guess. But these 2 games are, fantasy historical Chinese games.
Yeah, what do they call it? Waifu or whatever. The fucking swords.
I knew what it was. Yeah, it's like
the name's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't fucking remember it. It's like Chinese fantasy type stuff, like Journey to the East or West or whatever.
Yeah,
but no.
Your medieval fantasy, your Chinese fantasy. That's that kind of deal.
I did see there was something about the CEO of Sony being like, people will go from PC to PlayStation.
Nah.
And I'm like, both you and Microsoft are going to fucking go bankrupt in the next 2 years if you don't fucking stop being boomers, okay? Stop. You don't. They get these CEOs that just do not fucking understand.
I wouldn't be surprised if, because I'm skeptical of a gaming collapse in that sense.
Well, I mean, we've talked about that.
I don't expect a gaming crash, but I do. If there's some gaming crash, Nintendo survives.
Well, Nintendo, yeah. Well, I mean, that Switch 2's coming. So
yeah,
I was watching some Gamer Nexus stuff about that.
I do expect that Xbox will disappear still. The Xbox will die.
So prediction time, right? I think what's going to happen during the Microsoft conference or whatever they're doing, right? Their thing. I think we're going to see new hardware announcement. It's either going to be that fucking straight, because I remember there was those leaks a while ago from that I watched on Gamers Nexus, and I'm basing a little bit of this on that, right? I think we're either going to see whatever the fuck that cylinder streaming, gaming, fucking console thing was, or we're gonna see Steam Deck fucking clone. I think that's what we're gonna see.
I
they're
think,
gonna
yeah,
be
I
like,
think it will be a
because
Steam PC kind of deal.
yeah, because I think that the way the market has been going, and the fact that all of these Steam Deck competitors, most of them being shit, is regardless of the point. But all of these Steam Deck competitors coming out from all of these other companies, I feel like Microsoft would be retarded to not try and capitalize on that. It seems it's the most logical step, right? Is to tap into, especially with the Switch 2 coming out soon, or at least being leaked and hinted at, and people, well, I mean, it's confirmed it's happening when people have been leaking specifications for it and how it's going to have like twice as much RAM or 3 times as much RAM. It's running on the newest, CPU, GPU connectors, all that kind of shit, right? So there's I feel like it would be it would be crazy for them not to want to capitalize on that market now that it's been kind of proven with the Steam Deck. But it is very hard to compete with the Steam Deck, right? Especially with the fact Asus has been in hot water lately. I don't know if you know about that.
No, not really.
Warranty.
Oh, not at all.
So you would like it. We'll end on this because it's an interesting story. So Asus, Asus, big computer company, make motherboard, CPU.
I believe I have an Asus. Or no, it's a
yeah,
Gigabit.
I'm running an Asus too. Yeah,
No,
they're one of the biggest.
Gigabits.
Yeah, they're Gigabyte. Yeah. So, but Asus, they do motherboards, GPUs, all that stuff, right? They do all kinds of things, motherboards, But they have the ROG Ally, which is their Steam Deck competitor, and the ROG Ally is not bad. It's not terrible. It's not a bad Steam clone competitor, Steam Deck clone competitor thing. But what's been happening is they're getting into hot water because their warranty service has been lacking quite a bit. Because what will happen is, and Gamers Nexus actually did this themselves and fucking experienced it and have been doing a lot of coverage of it lately because it's a big consumer rights issue. So let's say like you're playing on your ROG Ally and your thumbstick dies, right? And you go, shit, I gotta get this warranted because my thumbstick died. So you send it off to Asus, right? And Asus is gonna be like, okay, we'll replace your thumbstick, but what's all this cosmetic damage on your ROG Ally? What's going on here? Well, you're going to have to get that repaired too because we have to take the whole thing off, right? To get to the thing. So you're going to have to pay us $200, $300 something to get your warranty or something. And if you don't pay us $200, $300, we're going to return your ROG Ally like taken apart and not put back together again. So it's been a bit of a story. It's been a bit of a thing, and apparently there's been a lot. Like Gamers Nexus has been getting like hundreds and hundreds of emails from people about this and how they've been acting up. And Asus has been kind of putting out these very, we're sorry. We reviewed
our policies and made...
Yes, we have done an internal investigation and we've found ourselves to be free of sin. However, the most recent update to this is supposedly the American Commerce Commission, something or another, has the Eye of Sauron has caught wind of the current happenings and is looking at Asus and going, you might want to fucking sort that out, bucko, or you're gonna be in big fucking trouble.
Is it the EU or is it America?
It's America. It's America.
Oh, America.
It's American. I mean, EU probably could too. As well, because I reckon you guys probably have your own, probably better consumer rights law type stuff. But...
If you talk, EU loves consumer rights, so every time some company tries to pull something, even Apple is still in the eye of the big yellow star of. Hey, you made changes, but those changes are looking very cosmetic over there. Are you sure? We might have to do another investigation. And another billion-dollar fine.
Well, this is because Gamers Nexus is American. They're focusing on the American side, and they're starting up a campaign where people are submitting their problems to them, and then they're going to possibly compile it into a big letter that's going to go to the Consumer Rights Commission. That's what they call it down here, so I'm just going to call it that, right? Because we call it the Consumer Rights Commission, right? Which handles that shit down here. So they're going to be doing that, but to America, and supposedly, and they had a guy on who was the guy that won the court case against John Deere, because there was a big court case about John Deere with consumer rights, because with farming equipment, it's like you couldn't repair your farming equipment because you'd have to take it into the guy, who'd have to plug it into the laptop, and the laptop would have to update the BIOS, and because you can't do it yourself, right? And if you didn't do it, it would brick your tractor or whatever, right? Or some crazy shit like that. And so there was a big court case about that in America, and supposedly they won that court case, and John Deere now has to begrudgingly be like,
I have some relevant news. Like the day before yesterday, the EU passed the rights to repair laws for the entire European Union. So within the next 2 years, every member state have to do right of repair laws in every national legislation. So the entire European Union will have right to repair, and therefore probably the entire world, at least.
Hopefully,
The trick of the European Union is to make a law for the European Union, and then for kind of semi-force everybody else to offer the same things for the rest of the world.
Which I mean, we can criticize that, but I guess in this case it's a matter of they actually did it good, so it's okay.
Well, the reason why Apple is now finally doing USB-C on their chargers is because the European Union said you have to. This is the standard. Use it now.
Yeah. And I believe that's also going to be for user replaceable batteries. I think I read it.
That's part of it.
But the TLDR is ASUS is in big trouble because they are. The issue with ASUS is because they're like a dominating leader in the market, right? Because ASUS has always been considered kind of like the premium brand, quote unquote. Well, maybe not premium, but they're considered like a good brand, and their stuff works and it's good, right? But the problem is because they're like the leader in the market in a sense, all the other companies kind of follow the leader, and also they have like it's almost like they're not under enough scrutiny, right? And they're getting lazy, right? And that's leading to them kind of making these mistakes with like not really doing warranty stuff correctly, not really giving consumers the rights that they deserve, and all this other kind of stuff, because they're not in a position where they're being scrutinized enough for these decisions. And luckily, Gamers Nexus has become kind of powerful enough where they can almost like fucking destroy a company's reputation with a video. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what comes of it. It's an interesting.
Yeah, we kind of moved from gaming to and more about.
I guess we should end the stream before we ramble on for another 5 hours. So anyway, it's been a good time. And we will catch you guys next time. I hope you have a good day.
Later.
Bye. Later. Bye.